students have successfully completed PhD under her guidance. She also has a very extensive experience in academic activities where she teaches subjects like microeconomics, financial economics, and public economics. She has also authored books on banking and economics and is a member of Board of Studies and as well as the Academic Council, and an important contributor for course design and curriculum development in Gokhale Institute as well as other colleges. Very importantly, she has an Indian patent which has been published on an endowment of life assurance financial engineering system for trading endowment life insurance based products. Importantly, she also has received certain awards and fellowships. She is a recipient of UGC Fellowship for Postgraduate Studies. She also has an award for Most Outstanding Paper on Secondary Market in Life Insurance at a global conference by National Insurance Academy, Pune. So I'm sure you will all agree with me that we have indeed a very eminent personality who will be guiding us on literature review, because we will all agree that this is one of the most difficult parts which we all get into when we're doing any research. And ma'am, I hand over the mic to you. I would request you to start your session. Thank you. Madam, I would request you to unmute yourself. Your mic is on mute, ma'am.
Now, am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah. So what I was saying is really, I'm really thankful for a very generous introduction. And actually, apart from the technology, I am facing a couple of more challenges also. First is that this particular topic is really vast and largely misunderstood by the researchers. So I don't know how much I would be able to cover during such a short span of time. And how much time do I get now henceforth, by the way, since it is slightly late?
Ma'am,
So
1 hour 15 minutes should be okay.
okay,
So
okay, no problem, no problem. We will try to fit fit everything it in.
I'm
Yeah,
keeping a great challenge, but sorry,
no,
ma'am,
not a
because we
problem.
ran late.
And the participants can contact me later on also on mail or WhatsApp, not a problem. And second challenge, what I was saying was, as I get to know, the participants are from varied backgrounds. Okay, so heterogeneity of the audience is the second challenge, because as I understand, there is horizontal heterogeneity also. The participants are from various different fields, right from social sciences to engineering, and also the vertical heterogeneity, as I have been told, that there are some research scholars also, while there are some very experienced scholars also, faculty members also. So let me see, there is a danger that in my attempt to cater to each one of you, maybe I hope you will find some bits and pieces useful of my lecture. So I will just start presenting, because I want to show a couple of screens to you. I will just start presenting my PowerPoint slides, and then let us go across the lecture. Please let me know if I am not audible at any certain point in time, or if I share a different PDFs or different screens. If those are not seen on the screen, your screen, please let me know. So we'll start the lecture now. I will just present my screen. So, as we know, in the first lecture, as I was saying, you delved very deeply into the concept of social science research and the methods and the types of research. I was hearing the question answers, etc. Now, this lecture is slightly of practical nature, and we will be discussing art and craft of writing the literature review. Because when I have been guiding some of the PhD students, master students, etc., they have a lot of doubts and lot of questions on how to master writing the literature review. First of all, they don't understand why to write a literature review. Why not just have the research question, collect the data, and do the analysis with the help of ample amount of statistical softwares which are available nowadays, and have the findings. So they just ask me what I want to say. I am saying with the evidence. So why do I want to cite the literature by others? Okay, so we will start I will just show you the outline of the lecture. First, of course, as I said, because of the vertical heterogeneity, that is, I am not assuming any prior knowledge. So those experienced researchers, please excuse me if I am dealing with some of the basic things. So first we will start with what is literature review exactly, then the importance of reviewing literature, which is of which the people are not convinced, as I was saying. How to review the literature, how to write the literature review, which is very important. What are the referencing styles, which is one part of our topic actually, and various tools for referencing. So we will go in this manner. And of course, if apart from this, if you have any doubts, of course, you can reach me at the end of the lecture. So first, we will start with what is a literature review. So if we see this particular word, literature, couple of words, literature review. Literature, as we understand, is the science of studying languages, actually. Okay, literature, a common definition. Okay, but here for literature review, as we understand, most of us know, we are essentially dealing with published work in peer-reviewed journals or published books, maybe thesis and committee reports. So we are by literature, the academia does not take into account any news articles, any blogs, any Wikipedia kind of content. Okay, because most of the times I face these challenges. Students think that if they quote from Wikipedia, they are doing the literature review. So very basics, but I think it is worth mentioning it that these are not, these in the literature we just include mostly, most importantly, the peer-reviewed journals, books, maybe the thesis sometimes, maybe sometimes the working papers, mostly committee reports, etc. Okay. Now we all understand the meaning of review. Okay, capturing method and findings and putting it in linked framework. When you are reviewing the literature, what we understand is you have to study the method which is used and the findings which are coming out of that method, and then putting it in linked framework is the most important thing. Okay, so formally if we want to define, typically, so I'm just going by conventional approach of a teacher, and I'm giving you a typical formal definition of literature review. So a literature review discusses and analyzes published information in a particular subject area. This is the formal definition of literature review. But we are more concerned with writing a literature review rather than defining it mechanically. That way we are practicing academicians and we want to practice academia. So be it PhD scholars, be it professors, we need to actually write the literature review. So we want to understand beyond this formal definition. So actually you must remember that simply speaking, literature review is a conversation opener. Imagine that you are in a room where a group of 7-8 people is engaged in a conversation, and you enter that room and you want to participate in that group. You have to first listen to what those people are talking. Okay? If you just come across with your own point, nobody will be interested. But if you first listen carefully, and then if you try to take a cue from their conversation, and if you try to make a point in relation to their conversation, then they will be all ears. So here, please remember that we are talking about this group. This group is a group of experts. So they already have been talking on the subject. They are already having within their community a conversation on the subject. And as a researcher, as a new researcher, especially a PhD scholar or a new researcher, you are entering, you are trying to enter into that conversation. So if you expect them to entertain you, if you expect them to listen to you carefully, then first you have to see what they are saying. Okay. So if I would here like to give you some examples how the literature review is very important, really important. So here I'm just showing you, trying to show you one PDF I have marked. Can you see this PDF? Or should I, are you seeing the PowerPoint or PDF just now?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
You are
Yes.
seeing the PDF. Okay. So here, this is actually the reviewer's comment on some very theoretical paper, as you can see from a journal. And these are the reviewer's comments and author's responses in blue, etc. Okay. So those comments are not of, at least for me, it is Greek and Latin, because it is something related to engineering and physical sciences, etc. I don't understand any of it. But you can see the marked text. Several studies, there is 10 pages of comments.
Ma'am,
Hello?
can I
Yeah.
interrupt you? I don't
PDF
see
not
the
opened.
PDF.
PDF is not open. Okay, okay. I was expecting that. Okay. Let me just stop sharing the PPT and open the PDF then. Yeah. This back and forth we have to go while doing this. Yeah. Yes, now you will be seeing the PDF. Okay, so these are the reviewers' comments and the author's actual reviewers' comments from a journal. Okay, you can see IE journal, and it is a paper on technology actually, which is Greek and Latin for me. But what we can see is, now you are seeing the PDF, no? Please.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So several studies
Yes, ma'am.
such as the one below, what he is saying is, several studies such as the one below present enhancement to the existent backoff mechanism. It is important to discuss these studies and compare their performance with the reverse backoff scheme. So it is important to discuss these studies. That is the reviewer's comment. I have a couple of other PDFs also like this, where we can see that the reviewers are commenting like this. So I will just share again one thing if the time permits. Yeah. Yeah, so you can see actually ample examples of these kind of, here I have given, okay, ample examples of these kind of reviewers' comments. And even personally, as for my research also, many a times what happens, the reviewers do not have much to say about the method or about the findings, but the reviewers have much to say about the review of literature. Okay, can you see the PPT now?
You're in seventh semester, no?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. We can see
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
yes. So I will be just asking you this because we are going to move back and forth across the documents. Okay. So this is, first of all, you should understand the need for literature review. So actually, what the point which we want to make is, intellectual writing is almost always composed in response to others' texts. Okay, that you should never forget. And in literature review, you are trying to craft that response. Okay, so that craft, how to achieve that particular craft, that's what we are going to discuss just now. Okay, so I'm actually hearing some noise at the back. Yeah.
Is open for number of companies. Any company you can.
So in importance of literature review,
Got a placement.
the first point is, why the excuse me, there is some noise at the back continuously.
Hello, Somraya sir, please mute. Somraya sir, please mute your volume.
Mr.
Okay.
Somraya, please.
Mr. Somraya.
Okay, okay, thank you. Yeah. So the importance of literature review. Okay. So the first point is the literature, reviewing the literature is important for the author himself to check whether anybody else has done the research on it, on the same topic before. Okay. Literature review is important for the reader also to study the subject thoroughly and to catch up what was there earlier to your study. Okay. So as a reader also, when you are looking at other research papers, you are looking at the literature reviews of other research papers, and you are trying to make sense of what exists in this in the framework, methodological framework or empirical framework of this particular topic, this particular subject. Okay. Thirdly, very importantly, which is always underestimated, literature review keeps check on plagiarism. So already when you are quoting the arguments, when you are summarizing the points from the other important literature, and you are properly citing the other important literature, that means you are avoiding plagiarism. You are avoiding your study from the blame of plagiarism. So citing the literature and quoting the literature is extremely important, and there you should be covering all the important points or the seminal papers in that particular topic, in that particular study, okay, study area. So here, up to now, we have been looking at the meaning of literature review rather than anything else, rather than the synthesis of existing literature. The literature review is a conversation opener in the academic world, in the world of your subject areas, your study area. And secondly, what we have seen is the importance and need of literature review. So at this particular juncture, do you have any questions? So we will just move ahead to extremely important question now related to the importance of literature. If the literature review is so important, exactly how to review the literature? That is always asked by the PhD scholars and the researchers alike. Okay, so in how to review the literature, the first, actually we start from zero ground. I will not say, I am going to give you 6 steps, okay, to methodologically review the literature. But this step which I am going to talk about is the zero step, step 0. Okay, what is the step 0? First, you have to, of course, specify your research problem. Okay, so first you have to keep very clear, with clarity in your mind, what is my research topic. Okay, and then you have to move ahead with the literature review with these questions.
Computer on पाहिजे.
So you have to deal with these questions like, has anyone researched on this topic? Once the topic is clear in my own mind, okay, my own research problem is clear in my own mind, okay, then I have to ask these questions to myself. Has anyone researched on this topic? If yes, what are the method and data and findings of that earlier research, if they have researched on the same topic? Okay, how can I contribute to the research gap? If there exists any research gap, what new contribution can I make to this research? Okay, so in the 6 pillars of literature review process, which I am going to summarize here, this is the pillar 0, that is step 0 actually, first pillar. Okay, you start from this ground zero. You have to be clear about your research topic. Okay, and then you have the other steps. So first step is specify. Specify what? Specify the research topic. Second step is collect the papers, collect the documents. Third step is classify the literature which you are collecting in various folders and subfolders. Fourth step is arrange. Fifth step is analyze, and then the last step is drafting the literature review. So one by one, we'll be looking at these steps. Okay. Now, in collecting the literature, for the literature review. As we know, we are in the age of automation now, and there are many data resources which exist. Okay, so as you know, there is scholar.google, which is first go-to resource for the researchers. I am very sure that most of you, almost 100% of you know about it. Okay, there are the research community websites like ResearchGate, academia.edu, etc. A vast amount of literature is available there, the research papers. Then there are some paid resources, subscribed resources, for which the universities and colleges have subscriptions. Okay, for the science side, there are these last two are for the science side mostly. Okay, EBSCO is also for the engineers and physical sciences. Econlit is for economics. Okay, so you collect the literature from these sources. Most of you already might be using these sources. Okay, so what is the problem actually when I go to, I would like to show you the JSTOR. I don't know whether it is widely available in various places. Most of the universities and colleges, it must be available, but you have JSTOR. Okay, which will be giving you a research paper. So if I, for example, if I take up some topic now, I want to take up maybe not something technical related to my area of insurance, finance, etc., but something related to more common interest, maybe impact of online. Like in Google Scholar, you can type your
Ma'am, we
research
cannot
topic.
see your screen at all. We
Oh,
can't see what you.
acha, okay. Let me check. Let me just give me a moment.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what I have done is I have typed there jstor.org. Okay. And I am directed to their home screen, and I'm just typing my own topic, impact of online education on, say, higher studies, for example. So JSTOR will be giving you whatever they have. Okay, so like this, like in Google Scholar, you get the research paper, journal article. Okay, by relevance they are giving journal article. So most here you will be able to download. I am able to download because the access is provided by Gokhale Institute of Politics and Economics to me. So if your university has access to JSTOR, you will be able to download from JSTOR also the research belonging to your specific topic. Okay. Now here what I have to see is there are many sources. So journals 70,000 in the left you can see 70,325. There are book chapters, there are research reports, etc. Now because I have this data, again you will be going to the Google scholar.google, and then you will be having thousands of papers on your topic. So because I am having this, earlier we used to go to the library actually, and we used to search for the journal articles. Okay, so because at the click of the mouse, now thousands, really lakhs of papers are available at one go within a moment, too much noise is created. Okay, so here we have to take other precaution. Here the researcher of today is not really concerned about whether he will be getting access to the literature, but the researcher of today is concerned about how to be selective, how to cull out the literature which is not related to his topic. And for that, what I was telling you, for that you have to be very sure of what is your research objective. So that groundwork has to be done, and then only nowadays you can go ahead with the literature. Of course, for that groundwork also, you have to have some background reading in your own subject. Then only you will be able to really sculpt your research problem and specific research objective. Okay, so here there are a number of papers which I can download. Okay, but then again, and nowadays I would just like to tell you that in gestor nowadays you have this text analyzer also. Newly they have provided this facility that if it is loading still, yeah, so here I can just drag and drop my paper here, and then they will be suggesting me the articles and books if I have left out anything, okay, or if any very important papers I have left out, then that text analyzer will be showing me those papers. Okay, so that is a very good functionality they have provided very recently now. Okay, so these kind of very updated tools as researchers you can use now. Again, I will be sharing, going back and sharing my PPT now. Yes. So out of all these sources, you have to first look at your topic, okay, and then give right keywords. And once you download a bunch of papers, because if very carelessly and mindlessly you just go on downloading the papers because it is freely and easily accessible, then later on your task is really unwieldy, and then you don't know what to refer to, etc. Okay, so the second step after collecting the papers, is to classify. Okay, classification of collected papers into theoretical papers, empirical papers. Maybe it depends upon your topic. You will be classifying it into international, national studies, cross-country studies, or single country studies, depending upon the methodology which is used. Okay, depending upon the arguments for or against. So maybe there are arguments for online education, against online education in this example. Okay, so these kind of classification has to be there. So while collecting the literature itself, the step 3 is to arrange the literature properly. Okay, so you have to save the papers in specific named folders, maybe according to the sections of your study. Especially the PhD scholars, they should be very attentive to this. They should be section wise saving the papers. Of course, some papers are useful for miscellaneous combined sections. Okay, so there should be folders, subfolders according to the sections or according to this classification, depending upon your own study. Then only you will be able to use that literature properly without missing out on anything. One more important thing is when you are going to these sources, there also you have many of the papers which are coming. Okay, so generally go by number of citations. As you know, I don't think you want me to show you scholar.google. No, anybody wants me to show scholar.google screen?
No, madam.
Everybody, yeah. So in scholar.google, if you want to download, then you have to go by the number of citations first, so that you don't miss out on important papers. So if the number of citations are more, then that paper you must have reviewed in your literature. You should not miss upon that paper. And if the citations are less, because in scholar.google you get the number of citations first, okay, along with the versions, etc. So that you should look for whether to download that paper or not for your study. Okay, so system to arrange the literature, of course there is you can have chronological system according to the topic. Okay, so that chronology is not when the paper is published, but that chronology is related to the topic. Okay, so that is very important. Then advancement in the research, whether it is country specific, cross country, depending upon major arguments, issues, etc. Okay, that is the system to arrange the literature. Then we come to the fourth and very important part of it. It is actually the most important step, is to analyze the literature, because actually in the literature review, when you are summarizing the papers, it is not just a shopping list type of listing of what others have said. Okay, you have to summarize, you have to analyze, and you have to comment and criticize what others have said so far. Okay, then only what you are saying will be valuable. Okay, so in analysis, first you have to think about how far the paper which you have collected is useful to you. Okay, so when you are looking at the paper, first you have to look at the abstract, and then of course from the title and keywords I will get to know whether the paper is related to my particular area of research or not. Okay, problem of research problem or not. Okay, then going forth, so here I am just telling you how to analyze, which are the steps to analyze in a practical way. When actually I am collecting the papers, I have a bunch of papers in my folder. Okay, so first I will be looking at the abstract and the findings. If the abstract and the findings are directly related to my study, then I will be deciding whether that paper is actually useful or only partially useful. Maybe the methodology I will be using, but the other findings are not quite related, are not related to my study. Okay. Then if it is useful, then I will be reading the paper and looking for basically the data and method of analysis and the findings. Okay. Simultaneously, when I read, I keep on telling my PhD students always this: if when you are collecting the papers in the folders, so on my computer, I will be having folders in which I have collected the PDFs of papers, etc. In that folder, you should have always a Word file also. And while reading the paper, you should be summarizing and adding your comments and putting that in that Word file. So in folder wise, you will be having kind of annotated bibliography of what you are reading. Okay. So each folder section wise, you will be having Word file of your notes. Okay. Which will be very handy for writing a literature review. Okay, and then it doesn't it becomes very methodological and easy for you then to see what has been said in the earlier literature and how to have that conversation opener, what is the gap in the literature, etc. Okay, so this is the step 4, okay, of analyzing and taking notes and preparing annotated bibliography. Actually, it is practically the annotated bibliography of what you are reading. Okay, then step 5 is of writing. Okay, so of course I'm calling this step 5, but writing is the drafting is the final step. We have started from step 0 actually of forming the research problem and looking at the keywords accordingly. So how to write the literature review is the key question in the mind of each researcher. Okay, so as experienced researchers know, but still very surprisingly, these questions are asked by the students. Okay, whether to cite the papers chronologically, whether to cite the papers in alphabetical order. Okay, so you don't have to cite the papers in chronological order or alphabetical order of the author's names. Okay, but preferably there should be classification, okay, and thematic organization around the ideas. So for that, you have to really read the papers which are collected. Once you selectively collect the paper, that selected collection of papers, you have to read very deeply and try to understand a consistent thread of argument which has been developed from the historical literature up to today. Okay, so thematically organized around ideas, presenting perspective on the material. Okay, so here I would just like to share again something with you. Let me see whether I will be able to share. Just give me a moment, please. Yeah. So this is actually, I'm having this guts to share one of my papers actually, which is published. So here just an example, especially for the research scholars. Here you can see the marked text. The literature has documented that state-owned banks operate. This is a paper on relationship between bank ownership and bank performance from Indian banking sector. So the this you can just observe this statement. The literature has documented that state-owned banks operating in developing countries tend to have lower profitability than comparable private banks, and that this lower profitability is due to lower net interest margin, etc. Mostly due to. So this is what is given in the literature, and then in the next sentence, it is stated what the present study tries to test. Okay. Similarly, in this other paper on microfinance, okay, this is authored by me only. So here, why you are making literature review? Okay, so you have to specify the contributions of the present study also. So here you are not supposed to just list what has been done in the other studies, but here, like these statements show, based on the literature survey we find this. Okay, so in earlier studies, the MFI profitability is not examined. So what is not done in the context of certain things? Okay. So even if we, the subject matter doesn't matter here, the way in which the literature is used to look at the gaps and then to emphasize the contributions of the current study. That is extremely important. That kind of art you have to master. So there is a strong need. So the need is established to examine certain things, which is your research problem. Okay. So the literature review. So this comes after the literature review, obviously. So the literature review shows this analysis is provided, and then the gap is emphasized, and then the conversation is opened with the academia in this way. Okay. So this is very important. The way in which you synthesize and the way in which you use the gaps for making your important points. So thematically organized around ideas is a good quality literature review is always thematically organized rather than just giving a shopping list of this author has said that and that author has said this. Okay, so you have to assimilate, understand, and synthesize. Looking at the trees, basically you have to create a forest. Okay, so summary and synthesis is extremely important while writing the literature review. You have to present the status of existing work or research on your topic. You have to comment on that. Like earlier, I have shown you examples. You may classify according to cross-country studies or according to methodology, according to the time period, etc. Highlight past research studies achievements, evaluate the limitations, and then classify based on methods, findings, and arguments. So while writing the literature review, you have to really go by these steps one by one and tick mark these steps. Then your literature review will be created. Actually, there is a very good book. I think I have given a reference at the end of my presentation. They say, I say. Okay, so you are looking basically at what they say. This book is by University of Chicago professors, Graf and Birkenstein. Okay, it is a very famous book, and they are literally giving that those templates. Okay, so they are saying that to summarize what they say, okay, they are giving those other 3 bullet points later are actually the templates they are giving. You can say that a number of sociologists have recently suggested that excess work has several fundamental problems. Like this, you can start or you can quote in your literature. So of course, this is regarding sociologists, but related to your own research problem. Okay, so it has become common today to dismiss, okay, and then quote. Okay, so these kind of comments, and there are number of templates, very surprisingly, they give, okay, which are usually used by very successful researchers in very famous papers. Okay, and then there they are making this point that you have to look at what they say to very effectively make the point across the table of about what you are saying. Okay, that is why the book's title, They Say I Say. So I will strongly recommend this particular book, because books, separate independent books on actual writing literature review are very rare. There are many books on research methodology overall, and in that they deal with one chapter is on literature review. But this is a book on how to quote the literature and how to write the literature review. Okay, so now we come to the referencing styles. Okay, and as we know, referencing styles or citation styles. When I am quoting the literature from various sources, okay, then I have to cite, proper credit has to be given. And since the journals want a uniform kind of, the journal editors want their journals to look beautiful, they want a uniform formatting for the credit to be given, and they want to ensure that proper credits are given. Both these reasons are there actually. Otherwise, there is not, so it is just a mechanical way of formatting how you give credit to the authors, how you give credit to the earlier literature. So a citation or reference is a referencing style, is a way of giving credit to individuals for their creative and intellectual works that you utilized to support your research. It can also be used to locate particular sources and combat plagiarism. As I said, in the literature review, you cite. Okay, so a style is the rule or format in which the information is necessary for citation and which in which order it should come. Okay, as we know, author, comma, year of publication of that paper is the APA style. Okay, so typically the author's name, date, location of publishing, okay, DOI, digital object identity, okay, the number of the volume number and issue number, these are included in the format. Okay, the citation styles are different. Okay, and most of the times when you are sending a paper for a conference or for a journal, in author's instruction, the citation styles are very clearly written. So you have to very carefully read the author's instructions for citation style. Okay, and you have to understand what they are talking about. So they talk about APA 7th edition, for example. So just now the latest style which is going on in social sciences for economics, economists as us. Okay, so that is APA 7th style, 7th edition style. Okay, so APA also has 5th, 6th edition, etc. So some journals are still using 6th edition style. Okay, so American Psychological Association style is used by generally the social sciences, education, psychology, etc. Modern Language Association style is used by the humanities like philosophy, history, etc. Chicago Turbine style, IEE style is used by, Chicago is used by business basically, and sometimes fine arts, history. Okay, and IEEE style is used by most of the engineering journals, but of course it will differ. It will differ by many journals actually use MLA, APA, or Chicago. These are the most common styles which are used. Okay, so you have very good sources. I don't know how much time is left now, but you have very good sources for looking at in details, because if you are citing a book, then it is differently cited. Okay, I have some back files for this. Maybe I will be sending to the organizers to share. Okay, so that we don't waste much time in this, because this is just it is not very difficult to understand. Once you know this information, you will be able to very easily format your references and in-text citations in these particular referencing styles. Okay, so generally they also give generally, very commonly, what you don't cite is your, of course, own original ideas and conclusions. Okay, information and ideas that are well known by your readers and widely accepted or commonly known facts. Okay, like the sun rises in the east. Okay, that is a widely known fact. You don't have to cite. Okay, sayings and proverbs such as the grass is always greener. Okay, that you don't have to cite. Okay, alphabetically arranged reference list at the end of your paper you have to give. Okay, so there are two types of citations: in-text citation, okay, and reference list at the end of the paper, as we know. So same style should be used for both. That is, if you are using APA 7th edition, then you have to use APA 7th edition for in-text citation also and for reference list also. Okay, so have uniformity. If the style is, for example, if a referencing style is not mentioned for a conference or for a journal, then you can select your own referencing style out of these APA, MLA, Chicago, etc. But you have to be consistent across, because many a times what happens, especially at student level, you just take some reference from some journal and the styles are not consistent. Different journals, different papers, number of papers you are citing. Okay, and students tend to cite in that particular reference style only from which the paper is sourced. Okay, and they don't take effort to make it uniform. So that we have to check for, because what happens is the referees look for these kind of things. And if the basic things, the basic ways in which these are actually the mannerisms, okay, of academia, and if you are not following it, then you don't have entry into academia. Okay, so even though it is not very important for the content, you have to follow these common sense things. So there are certain do's and don'ts of referencing styles. Okay, so what you quote word for word, for example, okay, the materials which are directly quoted from other authors works, you cannot change the words, okay, unless you specify. Okay, materials from your own previously published work, materials replicated from a test item, verbatim instructions to participants, etc. Okay, so this is for especially science or psychology tests. Okay, there are certain exceptions which are also mentioned in the style guides. Okay, APA style guides are commonly available. Okay, on the APA, or any style guides are available in various on various university library websites and also their own websites. Okay, so two kinds of materials are only cited in the text and not included in the reference list, which is, one is the references of classical religious works, okay, and others are references to informal personal communications. Okay, so anecdotal communications, anecdotal evidence, generally you don't include it in the end of the chapter or end of the paper reference list. You just include it in the text. Okay, and of course the religious works. So these are a certain do's and don'ts, trivia about referencing styles. Okay, now, yeah, so as I said, there are some library guides also. Okay, and APA style, its own website is there. Of course, I have the screenshot of it, but you on your own also, you can go to this website and get more information about various citing styles. Okay, so we will just go ahead and we come to very interesting topic of reference managers. Of course, I guess many of you will be already using the reference managers. So nowadays in the world of automation, citing and creating reference list is also a very easy task. Okay, of course you don't have to you have to be very mindful for everything. Okay, which references, because many a times what happens, all automation is available, but still we fail to produce a quality work. Okay, so to collect quality work is important, to properly synthesize and provide a quality literature review after synthesizing the quality work is very important. Okay, so to help you, there is Mendeley, there is Zotero, there are some other paid reference managers also. Many others are there which are paid, like RefWorks. Okay, but Mendeley and Zotero are most popular. Okay, if you are a research scholar, if you are a faculty and not using it, if you have not downloaded it, please make it a point to install. Personally, I use Mendeley more than Zotero. Okay, but there is not much a difference. Mendeley is also adding many functionalities like web links and social groups, etc. nowadays. Okay, but basically Mendeley is for referencing and in-text citations. It is very easy and it is very manageable. Okay, so actually, I would have liked this to be a hands-on session on Mendeley and how to use all the functionalities of Mendeley and Zotero. Okay, both we have at the institute these kind of hands-on training sessions, but within this limited time, it is very difficult to show everything which is there. Okay, so here, as I said, Mendeley is you have to register for Mendeley, download the Mendeley desktop, which is very easy. Okay, so if we have time, I think we have some time. No? So those of you actually who don't have Mendeley desktop, can you just download Mendeley desktop just now? So we'll just have a brush of hands-on kind of session with Mendeley. Yes. Is it possible to download Mendeley desktop by the participants?
If it is possible, I would request the participants to just type yes in the chat box so that we know that they are downloading Mendeley.
Of course, it will depend upon the connectivity and whether the connection is strong, because the computer becomes slightly slow then. But
Ma'am, I think participants are trying to download.
trying to, so I will wait then, and I will also show them how to go about it, because I think so this is how you will get the screen when you start downloading. I will also just now. You may just type Mendeley desktop in your browser. So you can see my browser screen just now.
It is mendeley.com.
Yeah, it is mendeley.com. Yes.
Okay, thank you, madam.
And then you will get this kind of screen when you go to mendeley.com and for downloading Mendeley desktop. Nowadays they have Mendeley web importer, etc. So that you don't have to download just now. Later on you can explore on your own. It is very user friendly. It is even more user friendly than Zotero. That is why we are. Yeah. So here I am just downloading here because I am in a classroom. It is not my personal desktop. So here I am downloading along with you. And
we have, I got our screen Mendeley business, Mendeley home.
No. You just search for download Mendeley desktop for Windows or something like that. See, you can see my screen. Business is not needed. Download Mendeley desktop. Okay. And it will be downloaded. So once you download Mendeley desktop, you don't need an internet connection. It is offline facility then.
Great.
Yeah. Only thing is that they will be asking you for Word extension, and they will be asking you for registration. So there you are supposed to give your mail ID and create password. Okay. So,
this site cannot be reached.
Okay. So from I think your area.
Yeah, I am from
because many people are downloading.
Yeah, maybe.
That could create an issue.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I understand.
Okay, madam. I'll try it next time.
Yeah. So I will just show you.
Madam, my
Yeah.
question
So
is,
yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
can we? So I am writing on an article, research article,
Mm-hmm.
and I written the references in different styles. Can we use the Mendeley to keep all the references in API style?
Yes, yes. That's what I'm trying to show you just now. So you can, yeah, you can. You can select whatever style you want on Mendeley. Okay. Let me see if I'm able to connect now. Something is.
Madam, I finally reached something that says welcome to Mendeley.
Huh?
I have reached a screen that says welcome to Mendeley.
Okay. So,
And then it's asking me for what articles I'm searching for.
yeah. Let me just sign in first. Yeah. So what you have to do is, once you are successful in downloading the Mendeley desktop, okay,
Yes, ma'am.
what you have to do is you have to just drag and drop the articles in Mendeley. Okay. So that's what I'm trying to show, but here it is not being successful on this particular screen. Uh, Let me see if I'm able to log in from my desktop. So those who have downloaded Mendeley, just give me a minute. I will just try to register here. Because I have also opened many screens. Let me just see whether I'm able to. Can you see my screen just now?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, we can see the download Mendeley desktop of
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Let me just.
Ma'am, just one question. Once I've
Yeah, yeah.
searched for the article, how do I click and drag?
Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm trying to show you. Just give me a minute to sign in, and
Yes, ma'am.
because here I have opened too many tabs on my computer also. It is taking some time. Just give me a moment.
Even this bundle have songs also, madam. Download bundle songs.
No, no. Mandal songs is different. You have to put a proper
Yeah, and I got
spelling.
it.
Yeah. Let me see. Just give me a moment.
Okay, madam. Hello.
Hello.
Only.
Hello. I'm not getting just now. Just register. It's okay. It is giving some trouble actually. Okay. I will just once I will try, otherwise I will just instruct you how to do it.
Madam, we see the citations
Yes,
also,
yes,
madam,
yes.
in
That's what.
Mendeley.
Let me just log in first. Yeah. Now, are you seeing the screen with Mendeley? I am successful in opening it now, finally, after closing some tabs. Yeah. Okay, I will share.
Ma'am, we
Just
can't see
wait.
that screen. We are
Yeah.
seeing screen.
So I will just share it. So most of you might have be successful in downloading Mendeley. So yeah.
Hello, ma'am. Yeah, I downloaded, ma'am. It's showing search for article,
Yeah, see
books,
now you
like
are,
some
yeah,
option is
now you
given.
are seeing my screen of Mendeley, which I have opened finally.
Yes, ma'am.
And in the left, you are able to see some of the already made folders, like that bank ownership paper I was showing you. If I go to this bank ownership paper, I already, the literature which is saved there, you are seeing. So what you have to do is, those small folders are there on the left, you know. So the first tab is, will be giving you add files, add folder. The first, file ke niche, below the file, you have add files, add folder. Okay, so you must have, just now I am showing the simple Mendeley desktop thing. Now they have the web importer also, but just now we will not go into that. It will take more time with the slow connections and everything that you can explore on your own. There are some tutorials also, but just now I will just show you with the Mendeley desktop. What you have to do is, you have downloaded PDFs folders like I was telling you on your desktop. So you have to just go to add a folder. Okay, and then it will take you to wherever your desktop, etc. Okay, wherever you want to go, wherever you have saved that folder. Okay, and then you can add that folder to Mendeley. Okay, so here if I go to my desktop, maybe I will just show you from my hard drive only. Okay, so this Word file, for example, okay, or some research paper has to be there, yeah. So this is one research paper on the Black-Scholes model, okay, which will be added to Mendeley, okay. So here what I am supposed to do is add files or add folders, okay. So if I want to add a folder, I can add the folder also here. So it will go in this bank ownership folder if I want to add, okay. Otherwise, I can create new folders also. Here there is a tab for new folder, okay. So you can have new folder also here, okay. So see here you can see new folder, okay. So I can just right click here and add folder also. Go to my desktop and add whatever files I want to add, okay. So here, for example, I have this file for today's FDP, okay. From that, maybe I will be adding some files. So this you can try just now. Actually, I would like you to try this, okay. So go to, see, these are three windows. Here on the left, they are showing you the folders which are already existing. So these are the papers which are already existing in my Mendeley. Okay. Folder wise, according to my studies, I have store the literature. Okay. Middle window, you can add papers to Mendeley in two ways. Okay. First way is to go to the left, click on that those folder icons and add folders or add single files. Okay. Second way is to right click here. It has become very slow actually, unfortunately, but you can, this is very easy to use. You can right click here where you are seeing this my cursor just now. You can right click here, it will give you add files or add folders, and you can simply drop and drag your PDFs there. So just try one or two PDFs. If you have already downloaded installed Mendeley in your desktop, okay, you can just drag and drop files from your desktop. So you may like to try that just now. Okay, and once you drag and drop the file, the information will come to the, see there are three columns, no? So on the right hand side, extreme right column, the information on that particular paper will come. Okay, so let me see if it again gets activated, then I would be able to show you, but this is again a technological glitch we are facing. So it is hung actually. My Mendeley is maybe many people are using, and here also I'm simultaneously showing you many tabs. So, but participants can try this. If you have any doubt in dragging and dropping the files or opening the files, just let me know. Okay. So what I want you to show is you can have Mendeley extension. Okay, you can have Mendeley extension in your Word. Okay, so you should be having Mendeley extension in your Word, so that automatically you will be able to insert in text citations there. Okay, that is the beauty of Mendeley. So are you trying this just now, or should we try it later as homework?
I think better you can
Yes.
try it later, madam, because the
Some
net is
people are
very slow.
trying, yeah, some people are trying, some people are not trying, but do try Mendeley, do look at some of the tutorials which are available, and it will be automatically giving you your reference list at the end of your paper. Okay, so that is a very beautiful tool. Okay, so we will
It
go
can be
back
best
to,
homework for us.
yes, that is I'm giving you as homework already. Okay,
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
so yeah, this is the homework which I'm giving you, and then going back to our presentation now. Yeah, so this was regarding Mendeley. You can see the PPT now, I think. Okay. So giving reference list at the end of your study is extremely important, because most of the times when I'm working as a reviewer of the journal, or when I send my papers, when I'm working as a referee for PhD thesis, etc. Okay, first thing what the referees do is they go at the reference list at the end of the work, and then they try to judge, then they try to evaluate your work. Okay, and if you're missing some very important papers there, then your work is judged accordingly. Okay, the quality of your work is judged by the references. So inserting bibliography at the end of your study is extremely important, and as we have seen, Mendeley, Zotero, etc. are available for that. Okay, difference between the bibliography and references, very importantly, is that bibliography consists of overall literature which you have read. So if I am citing, giving references for overall references which I have read in the course of my study, that is the bibliography, which is there mostly for the books or thesis. Okay, but the list of references is only that literature which is to be included in the paper, okay, directly in the form of in-text citations. So if you have not mentioned in-text citation of a paper, then don't include it in the reference list. So when you are sending journal papers, okay, never include what is not mentioned in your actual body of the study, okay, that you are not supposed to include in the reference list. Okay, so yeah, so now we are almost at the end of this lecture actually, okay, and since due to the weak connectivity, actually Mendeley hands-on which I was planning, I was not able to properly give it because individually I hope you will be trying it, okay, and then get back to me if needed. So the takeaways from this lecture are, first of all, we have seen the 6 pillars of drafting literature review, how to collect, organize, etc. in details we have seen. Okay, how to read papers for review, focusing on the findings and the abstract basically, and then going to data and methodology, how to write reviews, do's and don'ts for writing reviews of literature, and regarding the reference managers. Okay, but what I would like to tell you is the most important takeaway is the first one, which I was telling you, that you have to remember that you are entering an academic conversation and therefore need to start with what others are saying and then introducing your own idea. So you should be always looking at the literature review as this conversation opener. Okay, and should not forget that you are in conversation with the experts, so they are looking for their peers citation of the important papers by their peers, etc. Okay, and the last but not the least important point is we should not forget all, even if we are senior professors or PhD scholars, we should not forget that so far we have been used to writing for whom. You should not forget why you are writing basically. Okay, so why do you write? You write for the readers. Okay, so far we have been trained to write for the readers. Who have been the readers? When we at college level we write the essays. Okay, who have been the readers? The readers have been our basically the professors or teachers. Okay, and let us not forget this brutal truth that they were reading our essays only because it was their job. They were paid, it was their duty, okay, to read because it was their job. But when as an academician or even as a PhD scholar, you are sending your writing for someone to read, okay, when I ask this question, for whom I am writing this, and who is the reader then? Okay, the reader is the referee and the reviewer. Okay, and so you have to talk their language. It is not exactly their job. It is just their, it is honorary work of the referee to read the PhD thesis. It is honorary work of the reviewer. Journal reviewers are, it is not their job. They are out of their passion for the subject. They are the reviewers. Okay, and that is why whether that work is valuable to them or not will highly be dependent on whether you are talking their language, whether you are showing them that some commentary on what exists in their own field, and then how your point is related to their field. Okay, and that is what is done through the literature review, that you should never forget. Okay, other mechanics of it, of course, you will learn with practice. The craft of it you will learn with practice, but this is the art, okay, of convincing the peers where you aim your paper to get published, how your paper is valuable, and that is the very important part of it. Okay, so here I would like to end my lecture. Okay, already you are sitting here since morning, and I would like you to go through these references. As I said, this is a very good book on literature review, giving you templates on literature review, etc. These are the websites of libraries and APA website, where the details about referencing and citation styles according to which source you want to cite are given in details. Okay, and do install Mendeley and start using Mendeley. You will be able to use it. It is very user friendly and free source. Okay, so thank you. If you have any questions, I have just in time I'm finishing my lecture. So if you have any questions, you are welcome to ask.
Yeah, thank you, madam, for that excellent session.
Thank you.
Regarding thematic thing regarding review of literature, I just have a doubt.
Yes.
So suppose I have 3 independent variables and 1 dependent variable. Can 1 independent variable and 1 dependent variable be a theme? Like that I can create themes?
Okay. So see, thematic literature means you have to create a theme which is related to the literature which is modeling all these three variables. Okay. So you have to look at the papers, okay, which are based upon modeling these three variables, these independent variables and dependent variable. You may not talk in see, because there will be n number of papers. Now can you give me concrete example what is in your mind, which independent variable, which dependent variable? Do you have anything in mind?
Suppose my topic is impact of stress and personality on work-life balance.
Okay, okay, yeah.
Sometimes I don't get the papers related to all three variables. So I may take up one independent variable and dependent variable. Can be my theme like that. That's what my question.
No, because see, it will depend upon, see, it should be either directly or indirectly related to your paper. So work-life balance, you will get n number of papers again, which are just now also you can search in JSTOR or search in Google Scholar. There are n number of papers which are talking about various different aspects of work-life balance. Okay, but the effect on personality, the papers which are talking about the relationship between work-life balance and personality, only those papers you have to take. Then it will be a theme. Okay, for example. So that is the point. You will get on each variable, you will get different papers which are relating those variables to again different n number of variables. Okay. So stress, for example, if you search for papers on stress, so many papers and so many other factors which decide stress. Okay. So only stress, only searching for stress and only taking those papers will be problematic. Okay. So your theme will be the link between stress and personality disorder, the link between stress and work-life balance. That is the theme. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
I hope I'm answering your question. Yeah. So it will be very case specific actually. Thematic is, that's what I'm saying. It is an art because it will depend, each time it will depend upon your research problem. It will depend upon your research problem. There is no one size fits all kind of answer to this. Each and every time you write, you take up a problem and try to write a paper, it will be a different structure of your literature review.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, it was a wonderful session.
Thank you.
I have a doubt that for grounded theory research, how can we start our literature review and how write down the literature review? If there is further, not only grounded theory approach, but in another phase, if we are using quantitative technique, then how, I'm in confusing stage for my research. How can I write the research review for that? So could you please?
See, for if your research primarily if your research finding, like if you are trying to propose a different kind of method or a slightly different approach to methodology, okay, then you should be talking about methodological literature in that aspect. Okay. In quantitative, I'm saying. Okay, so quantitative methodology, if in it will depend upon what is your research problem basically. Okay, so literature review should be essentially related to your research problem. Okay, so if your research problem deals with some gap in the literature, which is quantitative methodology related gap, then you should be looking at that literature. Okay, otherwise, if it is empirical, okay, then you have to look at only empirical literature. That's the thing.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Madam, the basic question is, ma'am, nowadays there are many studies are available for many reviews are available, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, for how many studies we have to, how many international, national, and the regional level studies we have to keep for thesis and research article, ma'am?
Yeah. See, again, it will depend upon the kind of question you are taking. My first part of answer is that. Okay. So if you are looking at very new concept, For example, my PhD was on, I'm just giving example because it is coming swiftly to my mind to save the time. Okay, so my PhD was on secondary market trading in life insurance policies. Okay, so on which the literature does not exist in India. Okay, that is my patent actually, because it is a very new topic. Okay, and the literature existed, only some of the literature, legal literature, was existing in other countries. So there the literature review compared to other theses might be less. You are Vijaya from which field? uh, are you from
Madam, social work, ma'am, social work.
social work? Okay, okay. So maybe I will just try to give example. So here what happens is, for example, in say poverty. Okay, so poverty, if you are trying to define a poverty line, okay, or if you are trying to look at impact of some measure like say NRLM, okay, National Rural Livelihoods Mission, then there is a lot of literature which is dependent, and your literature review will be very heavy then, because so many people right from the planning era, right from before independence even, are talking about poverty. But if there is some new subject, like I mentioned, secondary market trading in life insurance, there are no studies literally available on that. Okay, so my first answer is that the number is fixed only according to your research problem. Okay, if theory is available, you can quote that theory. If empirical papers are available, you can quote that paper. Okay, so it will depend upon the problem. Secondly, from referee point of view, speaking more practically, okay, generally, as I said, when you Google Scholar your topic, okay, most cited papers have to be there. Okay, so generally the referees look for whether you have missed any very important papers, okay, which are there. Okay, so that is the case. That is the only answer. The number you cannot quote. Okay, and many a times that is why and it is subjective. It is subjective, I understand, because many a times one referee feels, I have got reviews from international journals, like one reviewer is saying that the literature review is very good, other reviewer is saying that it should be more adequate. Okay, so that is the case. Yeah, but as I said, first two points, in my first 2 points, you should be quoting important papers depending upon the number of citations, etc., in your topic, and it will largely depend upon your topic, how many studies. Okay, I cannot quote the number.
Okay, okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Ma'am, if there are no questions, could we wind up, because
Yeah.
we've already
Yes, I understand.
And if they have any more questions, because I can understand literature review is very important for everybody,
Yeah.
they can always contact you later on.
Yes, sure.
So
Sure, they can
participants, is it okay if we wind up now?
Yes, madam. No problem. Go ahead.
I'm very much thankful for ma'am, because she took us through a range of issues which are usually to be addressed in a writing of a literature review. She spoke about types of literature review, about classification. She also introduced us to some very novel concepts like the reference managers, and I've been using this, so I know how easy it makes our literature review writing possible, because when we go into referencing, it becomes a real big headache if you have to actually manually type everything. But when you use these referencing managers, our work becomes much more easier. She also gave us certain references which we can refer to later on. And one thing which we can all do, whether it is using of the reference manager or anything else, we can always Google out a lot of things. And with these tips from her expertise, it will become very easy for us to do our literature review. So with this, I thank you, madam, very much for joining our FDP and addressing our participants and guiding them and giving your valuable suggestions and comments.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. I'm also thankful to the participants for being very patient with us and for staying with us to the end of the session. And we are closing this session now. We'll be meeting back again at 2:50 for the next session. So I know you'll have a slightly truncated lunch hour, but I'm sure 30 minutes is sufficient for all of us to have lunch. So signing off from CyBER right now, and we'll meet again at 2:30 for the third session. Thank you, everybody.
Hello, participants. Hello. Okay. Hello, participant. It is request to all of you that on the display of your email ID, you have to first put your registration number. That is Mr. Abhijit Patil. He has properly mentioned that 142 and Abhijit Patil. So if it is there, then only we can very easily take out your attendance. So I request you all that through your email ID, you can do that changes. That first put the number, that serial number that we have given to you as per the registration to our online FDP program, so that we can easily take the attendance. So you are requested that you can make a changes in a short moment, because we still have a 10 minutes time to start our session. So if you can on display, if you can put your serial number, and after that you can put your name, so that serially we can able to see that you are attending properly or not. Even Muzumdar madam, she has did it properly, Abhijit Patil. So all the other participant, I request you all that you should able to make such a changes. And MBA AMGOI is there, we would not able to see who is that person. So please, before your name, please put serial number that we have given to you, and the same is shared to you on WhatsApp group. So please make that changes. Instead of putting that message into chat box, on display it should be there. Because most of you, I could see that only on chat box you are putting the messages. But instead of that, in your email ID, on display, the name, before the name there should be serial number, so that we can identify you easily. Otherwise it will take a time. So Amar Patil, you have mentioned in chat box, instead of chat box, on the display that is there, you have registered on your Gmail, there you have to make a changes. So mostly when you are setting, managing your email account, that time there is a display name is there. So on that display name, you have to put your serial number, like Mr. Nitin Joshi had done it, 134, and then Mr. Nitin Joshi's name is there. So like that you have to do, not in a chat box. If you are simply putting the messages in chat box, that will not be much counted. Only display information will be counted. So please, you are requested to do the arrangement like that instead of sending such a message to chat box. First, there should be serial number, because we have a 205 registration. So if registration number is 1, then 001, like that you have to make a changes in your, so their number should be 3 digits. If your is 2 digit or 1 digit number is there, then give 0 before your serial number. So if suppose your serial number is 2, then 002. So we want a 3 digit number, so that we can very easily do the attendance. And all of you know that attendance is mandatory for all the participants. So I hope you will make a changes soon.
Hello, Sonia? Sonia ma'am? Hello? 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 Value sir? ये म्यूट ही दो
Am I audible? Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, your sound is very feeble, man.
Huh, sir?
Sound is very feeble. It's weak.
Okay. Hello, good afternoon. Now is it okay?
Yeah, good afternoon, madam.
Okay.
Now it's okay. Yeah.
Are we starting? Yes. Hello. Hello, sir. Pradeep Kumar, sir. Sir, can we start the program?
Hello?
Pradeep Kumar, sir.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Hello? But your sound is very feeble.
My sound?
Hello?
Okay.
Am I audible now?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, you are audible.
I'm audible now. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Fine.
Can we start?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes,
We can
yes.
start. Yeah, definitely.
All participants, please on your video. We want to take one snap shot. Okay, we want to take one attendance. For attendance purpose, we want to take one photo. That's why please, all participants, please on your video.
The video is paused due to problems with their network.
Good afternoon all. On behalf of Chhatrapati Shahu Institute of Business Education and Research, Kolhapur, I, Dr. Bindu Menon, welcomes you all for the next session of 5 days Atal FDP program on capacity building in research techniques. Session, it's based on, this session is based on problem formulation and research design. Formulation of problem is often more essential than its solution, which may be merely a matter of mathematical and experimental skills. According to Albert Einstein, if I had an hour to solve a problem, I would have spent 55 minutes thinking about the problem and only 5 minutes thinking about the solution. From his words, we can find out the importance of this topic. It's my great honor and pleasure to introduce Dr. K. Pradeep Kumar sir, resource person of next session on problem formulation and research design. He has 23 years of teaching experience and very good network with industries also. His area of interest are social work, organizational behavior, HRM, and industrial relation. He has successfully guided 40 MPhil students and 14 PhD scholars. Sir has published more than 30 articles in different national and international journals. In addition to that, he has attended and presented papers in more than 50 national and international journals also. He also acted as resource person or chairperson of a number of seminars, conference, FDPs, and workshops. He has worked in different committees in different capacities in academics bodies of Shivaji University, CSIBER, and many other well-reputed universities. He is a member of professional bodies like NIPM and Maharashtra Association of Social Work Educators. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming Sir to take charge of the session. Sir, now floor is yours. Sir Pradeep sir, over to you. Thank you, sir. Hello, Pradeep sir. Hello, Pradeep sir.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. You are able to. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir. Now floor is yours.
Yeah.
And you can. It's over to you, sir. Thank you.
Yes.
Now participants can switch off your camera and mute yourself. Okay, if there is any query, then at the end of the session, you can on your audio or unmute and you can ask questions by raising hands or you can put it in chat box. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Over to you, sir.
Okay, okay. Unmute you. Yeah, desktop India. Present video. Right. Sure. Let's start. Start here. So, in the picture, hello. Bindu madam, I'm audible now?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Audible. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So can I start? Can I start? My slides are visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Slides are visible, sir.
My slides are
Yes, sir.
visible. Okay. My voice is also clear now?
Yes, sir. Very much clear.
Some issue was there. That's what. Okay. Technical. So I'll start. Very good afternoon to all. I'm very much delighted to be one of the resource persons today for 5-day research methodology workshop, which is organized by CSIBER, coordinated by Sonia madam and all the other joint coordinators, etc. So it gives me immense pleasure. It gives me immense pleasure to especially address a large number of audience across the country. I don't know, even from outside the country. Right from morning, I think we had 2 sessions by 2 eminent people. One by Dr. Laldas, who is an eminent social worker, who has written a number of books and who is very active in research. And second session also we had something on review of literature. And I'm going to address you on a topic that is the 3rd session, which is always very delicate. Wherever I go, I get afternoon sessions. So afternoon sessions are usually very, what I call, slow, boring and other thing. So I hope that I'll make it interesting as far as possible. So the topic which is allotted to me today is problem formulation and research design, which is not a, what I call, easy one. The scope is very wide. We have to, as Dr. Lalda said, it is not that easy to complete everything within a short period of time, just within 1.5 hours. But research methodology workshops are like that we have to address, we have to manage accordingly. So what I'm going to do is I'm trying to make it in a capsule form. I'll not be going very deeply into this. I'll be giving only the outline of how to formulate a problem and how to design a research. It takes even months together in order to understand one research design. But within a short time, how I will be able to complete that, let us see the time. So let us not waste the time. I'm just starting with the problem formulation. I'll give certain slides of problem formulation, then I'll go into research design. So the third topic, the 3rd day, the 3rd session, which is very much related to the first 2 topics which are given. What is the basics of research, what are the 2 types of research, like qualitative or quantitative, and review of literature. So presenting this problem formulation and research design, because this is what is called as the beginning of research. The first step in the research process is formulation of research problem. It is considered as the most important phase of research. This step starts with the selection of a suitable problem from the field chosen by the researcher. The choice and formulation of a suitable problem is one of the most difficult tasks for a researcher, especially if he or she is a beginner. See, many students who are pursuing MPhil, PhD, or even what you call dissertations at the PG level, it is option, whatever it is. So when we start a research, the biggest problem is what you call the students face how to select a problem, how to select a topic, and how to do research. So it is very difficult. Even I can say now, even my experience as a researcher is more than 30 years, but still if a student comes with the topic, I am also in trouble. So what to do? So what you call selecting a problem is not very difficult, but pursuing it is very difficult. So you can take number of topics as and whenever you want and however you want. So, but what you call a topic which you are taking, or a research topic which you are taking, it should be what you call researchable. There are many topics which is not researchable. So what you call the choice and formulation of a suitable problem is one of the most difficult tasks, especially if or she is a beginner, then that becomes a big problem. Let us see how to solve all those problems in the next slide. Now, I'm just giving a research planning model. Why I started with this? Because we have major 2 phases. One is planning and the other one is execution. As far as planning is concerned, we have two stages. What I call, first of all, problem formulation, what I'm taking. Then we are going to the second phase, the second stage called as design or plan, which is coming under the major head of planning. And we are coming to the next stage, that is third stage, which is coming under execution. And the last stage is what I call submitting the report or filing, finishing your RSS. So it is very easy to say for stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and stage 4. But when we actually start, it is very, very difficult. And every stage is very, very important. This is what, as what Dr. Lalda sir has said, what I call scientific method. So when we are following a scientific method, we have to be very careful. We have to go step by step. Each and every step is important, and we have to handle it very carefully. So let us see what I call defining or definition, or what I call research definition, or formulating a problem, or selecting a topic. All these things are coming in the first stage. So the most important stage is the what I call the selection of a topic. And let us see how we are going by that. In research, problem formulation is very important for the research, because before conducting the research, already we have explained, a research problem can be defined as an intellectual stimulus calling for a response in the form of scientific inquiry. So it is what I call, it is very clear that without scientific method, or following a scientific proper scientific method, or following step by step, it is not possible to complete a research. So let us see how do researchers come up with an idea, with the idea of a research project. So as I told you, what I call, many students come to the guide and they'll ask, sir, give me a topic. So how a guide can give a topic? Any topic from any textbook, they'll come and they'll say, okay, even PhD students, they do that. Yes, sir, I want to do a study on this area. For example, I want to do on population, what to do with population. So it is very difficult, but the first idea, how it clicks, it may be because of many reasons. Not necessarily it can be one single reason, or it can be multiple reasons, or maybe, your, what I call, thinking, etc., which comes here. So I'm just giving you how, these research ideas will come up to you. It is something you read something, maybe your own subject, or you are acquainted with some of the, different specialized areas. It is something you observe. Sometimes you may observe something while even traveling, there you can see that what is happening. Sometimes people who are traveling in Mumbai through slum areas, they'll be traveling, they'll be observing something. So conditions of some slum dwellers. So you may feel that you conduct a study in slum dwellers. So something like that. So they are hard enough. Sometimes your friends suggest that possibility is there. As students, you don't select a topic by yourself. You altogether, you sit together, go for a discussion, and you just try to get something. Some of your friends may say, do on this one. This happens especially in MPhil level, or what I call your post-graduation level. Then another important thing is what I call prevalent theories. What are the theories related to? For example, a very simple example, there are plenty of theories in social sciences. There are plenty of theories in management. All these theories are, after all these theories are based again on research only. The theories are formed on the basis of some relationship or some proper theoretical observation, etc. So already some theories, some people may feel that, okay, I want to validate a theory. Or some people may feel that, what is this theory? How this theory will be helpful for me? All these things come, this is all from unknowns. Sometimes you may feel that by thinking, by sleeping, while going to sleep, you may think something, everything is in your head, and something comes. Immediately, whatever it is that you are trying to jot down. So it is not a big thing, but how to select is a problem. How to intensify knowledge about a topic. Suppose if you're getting a topic, what are you going to do? Because when you get a topic, you are in trouble. I used to tell what I call, it is called as what I call intellectual discomfort. When you get a topic, it is something, what are you going to do with the topic? So immediately what you do, you have to go deeper into the topic, whatever that you have. So how to intensify your knowledge about topic? You are getting a topic, what to do with the topic, you don't know. So you have to intensify. How to intensify the knowledge about a topic is one, is what I call, nowadays it's not a big problem. Plenty of things are available using library, print and electronic resources. Now I think nobody will go to the library, even whatever, everything is there in your hand. If you want to know something about a particular topic, immediately open your mobile and go to Google, you will get immediately. That's not a problem. So what you can, one of the best sources I can say, because Google and other things will help you to understand. Even I think now electronic libraries are there. You can go there, you can search for a number of things. So once you get the topic that your interest starts. So what you call one source is what you call go to the library, print, electronic resource, use whatever that you want, whatever the sources you can utilize. Coming to the one, use written records and documents. Maybe sometimes there are written records, documents, they get in the library, many books. I mean, if you're interested in some government projects, you get documents from them. Anyway, whatever it is, you have to go through all the records and documents which are related to the topic which you have selected. Then you are coming to what you call, there is another one is very important. Many people don't like it, that are talking to relevant researchers, intellectual others. Many guides don't like students going to other learned people and discussing. I have experienced myself long back when I was doing my research. But what now, whatever the source of the topic, you should take steps to ensure that your research question should meet certain criteria. So what is important is what I call, you have to start your topic. Say, I used to tell my students, when they come with one topic for research, I used to tell them, don't rely on one topic. I used to tell them, they may be slightly irritated when I say, go for 3-4 topics. And the first thing what I ask them is what I call, you just ask yourself what you want to find out. What do you want to know? What do you want to find out? So what I call it, take a topic. Around that, you write many questions, ask questions on that topic. What do you want to find out? Write different questions. That I'll be giving a bit later. Some tips are there. So what I call, the utility depends upon the question. After all, what is research? Research is nothing but you are trying to find a solution for a problem that you have. You have number of questions that be in front of you, and you are trying to get answers for that. So how to answer that is what nothing but your research methodology. You are following in a very systematic manner, step by step, and that will help you to understand that. Now, once you select the problem, immediately you need to evaluate the proposed problem in the light of your one, how competent you are. Okay, how competent you are. Are you competent enough to conduct the research? Are you sure that how to conduct the research, after how to review the literature, how to go for a sampling, how to collect the data? Are you sure? Are you competent? Do you know what are the different steps to be followed? So what I call, you have to prepare yourself in the initial stage. Your competency you have to develop in the research area. You have to read number of books and other things that will help you. Possible difficulties, no research is free from difficulties. I think when you take a research itself, the difficulty starts. Some people used to tell why you are keeping research as what I call compulsory for MPhil or for what I call MA or what I call MBA. Now, coming to the other one, what I call, you have to take into consideration availability of data, financial and field constraints, limitation of time. All these things you keep it in mind, because what I call, you have to, first of all, you have to narrow down the problem to what I call a very specific one. So how to narrow down? That's what I said. If you take a topic on what I call, what is population in India, can you conduct a study on population in India? What do you want to conduct a study on? What do you want to conduct on that particular topic? How you're going to conduct? All these things are very this thing. So you have to narrow it down. How will you narrow it down? We'll see in the next slide. So the problem is there. You have to narrow it down to a specific problem. The topic. So for that, for those things that you have to go for research questions. So research questions will help you to narrow down the scope. What is the scope of the research? Whatever you have. Research, as I told you, the topic is very, 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 very wide. And so you have to define the nature and scope of research. For example, I'll tell you. So where do you want to conduct a study in Delhi? In Delhi, what are you going to conduct? Where are you going to conduct a study? Delhi is a small place. or is a big place? And where do you want to go? There are a number of slums, there are a number of posh areas, there are a number of the things. So you want to conduct the problems of people in Delhi, it becomes really what I call a mockery. So what do you want to make? What do you want to study? It will be very specific. Suppose we want to say, you want to conduct a study among the slum dwellers in Delhi. So what do you want to study about slum dwellers in Delhi? So what do you call every step? What you're doing, you are narrowing it down. All the paying attention to the wording, this is possible. Research questions can be stimulated in many ways that already we have discussed. Now I'll go to the next one. Type of research questions. This morning, Lalda sir might have explained you what is qualitative and quantitative research. See, the major classification as for research, it can be either any kind of study, whatever you do, it will come under these two things. Either it will be qualitative or it will be quantitative. Okay. So now, even qualitative studies, you have to have questions because you are going to decide what you want to study. Even in the quantitative study, you have to ask questions because you have to be very specific regarding what you're going to do. So I hope you know the difference between qualitative and quantitative research. I think there is no time to explain that. Lalda sir might have definitely helped you to make it clear. So the kind of question you use depends on what you want to find out about and the type of research you want to do. Now you see that it will shape your research design. Your research design is definitely depending upon what you call the questions that you are asking as far as your research topic is concerned. Don't deviate from that. Just see how you will go about in the next slide. For example, I'm just giving some research questions. On the left-hand side, I've given a research problem. For example, somebody has observed the teachers at 10th, in a school in the 10th standard do not have the skills to recognize or properly guide gifted children in the classroom, or somebody has said. So now immediately what comes to your mind is what you call, so what is the problem? Now how to solve that? So how to find a solution for the problem which is existing? So what practical techniques can teachers at school 10th use to better identify and guide gifted children? So now follow that. These questions will help you to design the research later. But now you cannot do only the question is there. You have to decide about all these things later. Now I'm giving you one more topic. Work-life balance and job satisfaction faculty. Among faculty members, how is the work-life balance and how satisfied they are? Of course, now all are satisfied because all are at home. Anyway, so now you are asking number of questions here. To what extent does the faculty work-life balance differs by academic discipline? To what extent does the faculty job satisfaction differ? So what you call these questions are helping you to narrow it down. So you are trying to be very specific regarding the questions that you are having. Now, coming to that, again, for example, suppose if you want to conduct a study on job satisfaction, which is very relevant to all of us. Now you are asking certain questions. You want to, what is the main aim of your study is what you call, the main aim of your study is to find out the satisfaction of the employees in an organization. But that is not only our objective. It can be we can have more. So what do you do when you are getting a topic like job satisfaction? What do you do? So you ask questions: what causes job satisfaction? What are the dimensions of job satisfaction? What are the extent of job satisfaction? Hello. Am I audible? Hello. Why
yes,
there
sir. Yes, sir. Audible.
Some disturbance. That's why. Okay. Why there is difference between men and women, or what is the relation between job satisfaction and other? So all these things are helping you to formulate your research design later. I'll come to that a bit later again. Now, what are the techniques? If you want to ask questions when you get the topic, now what you are doing is write down each question that you think. Let it be wrong answers, wrong questions. Let it be questions which are not relevant in the initial stage. How many questions that you can ask on that topic that you ask? Weed out or delete the questions whatever is not necessary. Don't wait. So you'll get, suppose if you are putting some 10 questions, at least I'm sure that 4 to 5 questions will be relevant for you. Those 4 or 5 questions that you stick on and keep on moving in the later stage, that you'll be helpful. For that, I'll give you one more technique now. For further, as I told you, I'm just skipping certain slides because I don't think I'll be able to complete within 1 hour. So what I said, you are asking a number of questions and you are settling down as far as certain topics are concerned. What do you want to find out, etc. You have number of questions within you. So now the question is how to again refine it. And the most important area where any researcher has to concentrate is review of literature. I'm sure that the review of literature topic is already over, and somebody, I don't know exactly, somebody has taken a class on that, and he or she might have definitely explained what is the importance of review literature. Some people ask whether review of literature is important. Yes, because review of literature is your theory. It is the base for you, because later stages, whatever the questions that you ask, you are trying to relate and you are trying to understand more about the the concept, whatever you have selected or whatever the problem, and that will help you to further refine and settle down on your own theory. Because after all, even the hypothesis, even the objectives and hypothesis which you're forming, it is based on the different research conducted by different people in different areas. Now I'll give you what does review of literature give you? How you will review literature. I'm sure that referencing another thing, many things you might have already completed in the second session. Now the question is, a researcher needs to examine all available literature to get herself acquainted with the selected problem. See, don't try to review anything which is not within your scope. Try to review only those areas where you have selected the topic. Don't go out of it. So you are trying to further intensify the knowledge regarding that particular. Here, there are different times you can have theoretical explanation regarding the topic which you have selected. There may be many empirical literature, many studies conducted in different parts of the country, even in international. So all these things. So it is nothing but it is you are gaining knowledge. And these now, after this only, you are trying to clearly mention what is the research gap. What is the research gap you have, and how you are going to fill that gap by your present study. So very clear, you have taken the topic, you have asked questions, and you are coming to the review of literature. Review literature will simply tell you, when you start reviewing about the topic which you have selected, you are going to see what others have said about this topic, maybe theoretical or studies conducted empirically, what theories address it and what do they say. For example, you take the theory of Karl Marx. Everybody knows in the whole world what is the theory of Karl Marx. Okay, so suppose if your study is something related to that, you try to review it. So management studies, for example, in management studies, I hope that some people are from management background. For example, you know, the scientific management, who is the father of scientific management? What did F.W. Taylor say? See, for example, whatever we are doing today in the industries or in any places, it is based on the scientific management, which was actually propounded years back. So that theory is still existing. That will definitely contribute, because I want to make it very clear here. Whenever you are doing research, you have to relate with theories. Without theory, without theories, it is very difficult to come to a clear-cut objectives or hypothesis. Okay, now I'll not stick on to that much. What research has been done previously? See, a particular topic when you're taking, there are different dimensions how we can conduct study. The different dimensions you don't know. Somebody might have conducted a study in Bengal, that is one dimension. Some might have conducted a study in Solapur, that is another dimension. So we don't know what are the different dimensions as far as this particular topic is concerned. Now we are coming to the next one, very important. Are they consistent findings, or do past studies disagree? In some cases, what happens, even we can validate the theory. What is applicable in Bangladesh may not be applicable in India. So there is a theory, long back, in Germany, they have what you call, they have theory, maybe related to anything. And if it comes to India, it may disagree. So even you can do research on that. Empirical validation of theories. Okay. Now, are there flaws in the body of existing research that you feel can remedy? That is the gap that you are trying to find out. How will your study relate to yet go beyond the previous studies? And how the last one is very important. How has the prior work influenced your proposed study? Now you have to put a full stop and you should say that what are you going to do? Everything is clear. You have a very good base. Asked question. All your review of literature will help you to definitely narrow down the scope. You will explain everything because the study, the questions, now you are ready for objectives and hypotheses. Now let us see identification objectives. Once the research problem is defined, it is time to address the aim and objectives of the study. At this stage, you are required to present the aim and objective study in brief to justify your study in terms of both its rationale and the implications that it might arrive. Research objectives are concerned with types of knowledge to be produced. Research can have a number of objectives ranging from relatively simple to very complex. Say, very important thing, what we have to keep it in mind is here is what I call objectives cannot be 100. If you're conducting a study with 100 objectives, you have to work for 100 10 years. You have to confine your study within a stipulated time. So it depends upon the objectives what you're making. Because here everybody keep in mind, I used to tell objectives are the actually heart of any research project. It is called as the foundation of research project. The entire process of research depends upon your objectives only. So what you have to do here, your objectives have to be very clear. And if you are not very clear, if you don't have clarity and direction, if it is not complete, if you are not identifying the variables, if you're not able to measure in a proper manner, whatever you are doing, it will go in water, it will go waste. Because whatever the first thing, for example, if a PhD thesis comes to me, or if it goes to an expert, what they are going to first of all see is what I call the objectives and the findings. Whether the entire research project is based on the objectives, based on the objective which you have prepared. So in many cases, I'm very sorry to say, in many cases, even PhD thesis, objectives are different. Sometimes they give objectives of the topic. Say, for example, one student conducted a study on performance appraisal long back. So that student came and said, I have formed the objectives for the study. I just went through that. The objectives are of performance appraisal, not the study. So it should not be, we have to demarcate very clearly what are the objectives of your study and what are the objectives of the what I call the topic. So be very clear. So once you frame the objectives, you cannot deviate, you should not deviate, because the next step, all the steps, what I call research design depends upon the objectives which you are making. The design differs. Okay, let us come to the next one. Suppose if you want, I'll skip this because I think I'll have to a bit more. I'll have to go fast. If you want, I'm just giving a simple explanation. Now we are almost in the final stage where we are going to the field. See, as I told you about it, in the design stage depends upon the thing. So first of all, you'll have to explain the aim of the study. Suppose if you have you want to conduct a study on job satisfaction among employees, what you are going to do is first of all, you are specifying what you want to study, what is your aim. Simply you say that understand the job satisfaction of some of the employees. But whether that is enough? No. Simply job, how many people, 100 people you are asking, you will say 50 people will say I'm satisfied and 50 people will say I'm not satisfied. Why did you conduct the study? You have to be specific. You need some specific objective. You are more interested what influences job satisfaction. So what I call an organization, or let us say teachers. Teachers, what is the level of satisfaction that you have? Are you satisfied or not satisfied? If you say yes or no, I'm not going to get anything. But if I go deeply, identifying what triggers you to become satisfied and what are the lacunas that makes you dissatisfied, so you'll have to go deep into that. That is called as specific objectives. Okay, I think once objectives is done, and now we are going to the vertical immediately. You go for hypothesis, but I'm not explaining about hypothesis at present because not all the studies will be having hypothesis. Hypothesis again related to what you call the design that you make. Let us see what is research design. The research design is very important because whatever the designing that you are making, it depends upon the previous things what I have done. The second stage we are coming. Now you are making certain decisions regarding how you are going to go about as far as your study is concerned. Now let us come to research design. Research design is a planning strategy of conducting research. It is a process of making decisions. That's what I told you. Making decisions before the situation arises in which decisions has to be carried out. You have to make it very clear now how you are going to conduct the study. So designing has to be completed in all respects. This research design is a detailed plan of how goals of research will be achieved. Now, let us see what the two important aspects of research are. State clearly what you want to find out. Already you have stated clearly on the basis of the what you call the topic selection and the review literature, and you come to determine the best way to do it. What is the best way of doing my research? I want the best result. I want to I want to do a qualitative work. Then you have to determine. Now let us come to the other point. The working out of the plan consists in reality of making certain decision with respect to one, what the study is about. I told you in the beginning itself what the study is about. Now it is clear what the study is about when you formulated the problem and when you went deep into the research. Now, why the study is being made? Again, you are asking question. Why? See, the purpose of the study is different. I'll come to the next slide. It will be helpful for you. Why the study is being made? Where or what area study will be carried out? When or what periods of time study will include? How much material and how many cases will be needed? What basis of selection will be used? What technique of gathering data will be adopted? Okay, now just have a look at this. What are the working out of the plan? Is very simple. What the study is about, you know. Why the study is being made? Already you are trying to find out why this conduct. You want a solution for the problem which you have. Now we are deciding where and what areas the study will be carried out. Very important. This is called a scope of the study. As I told you, you cannot conduct a study all over India. Studies can be conducted, but you cannot go for an empirical study. If you want to go for an empirical study, you have to be very specific, only a particular area. Now, if you go for secondary data analysis, I think secondary data analysis, I don't know, it is not included here. We are talking mostly about the empirical studies which you are conducted here, which you are going to conduct. So now, where and what area study will be carried on? Kolhapur, Mumbai, Pune, or whatever. But even in suppose if you take Pune district has number of villages. You have to specify which area, urban area, rural area, semi-urban area. Even if you take village, how many panchayat, which one. So it keeps when you have to ask number of questions. But these things will have to be related to what about the topic you are selected and according to the purpose. 20 years. A research is conducted for some immediate purpose. Maybe if it is a PhD or MPhil or even government projects or whatever the projects that it is actually for some purpose only. We are not simply conducting a study and throwing out. Now, how much material, how many cases will be needed? Of course, Dr. Ali will be speaking on that tomorrow. That is called a sampling and other thing, which I am not going to touch. I'll only design it and I'll go and other things, other good resource persons will be explained. What selection basis will be done, sampling, what techniques of gathering will be adopted, how you're going to conduct, how you're going to collect data, questionnaire. I think that also somebody is going to speak on how collecting data, analysis, and etc. So my area is how you are going to design the study. Now let us see. Quickly I'll go. Three important functions of research design are: it provides a blueprint, it limits boundaries of research activity. Blueprint, there's no need to explain. When you go for constructing a house, you need a blueprint. The same way, if you want to go do research, you have to make a blueprint step by step. What are you going to do, how you're going to do, and where you will reach. And reaching is very important. That is summation of your report, a quality report. That blueprint is your base and you'll be following it. It limits boundaries of research activity. As I told you, it will the boundaries, it is nothing but scope. You can limit yourself as far as your study is concerned. Suppose we are conducting a study among faculty in India. Faculty, what type of faculty? Where? Whether you are conducting. So, I mean, I just given a topic earlier. What is the work-life balance and faculty? And the satisfaction of the faculty members. Where are you going to conduct? That you need to specify and make it very clear. That's what you're going to explain all these things in your research methodology area. Now, very important one, as I told you, no research is free from problems. You will be definitely in what you call confronting with number of problems. So you can anticipate and you can change what you call omit or whatever that you want. You can make changes in that. Now, I'm going to come. Now, when you are designing your study, first of all, the most important one is what I call you have to consider the purpose of your inquiry, the purpose of your, what is the purpose of your study that will decide your design. What is the purpose? Let us see what is the purpose. There are three purposes as far as research is concerned. It cannot be more than that. Either you want to explore, or you want to describe, or you want to explain. So the research design will be based on your purpose. Either you want to go for exploring certain things, or you want to describe certain things, or you want to find what you call some answers for some questions, like what you call seeking explanation for certain things. I'll come to that. If I go in the beginning phases, you will need to decide whether your research will be exploratory, descriptive, explanatory. What is exploratory, descriptive, and explanatory? I'm going to explain in the next slide. Each has a different purpose. So how you design your research project will be determined by this decision only. So when you take this, look at this diagram. Traditional research strategies design. What is the purpose of inquiry? Exploratory, descriptive, explanatory. What is the strategy usually you use? In other sense, exploratory is mostly qualitative only. Okay, so what I call qualitative case studies are mostly qualitative only. So now the strategy that not necessarily, but usually exploratory studies, you go for case studies. For example, descriptive studies. When you go for descriptive studies, usually you want to know something about the characteristics of a population, or you want to know the details of something. You usually go for survey. Okay, so descriptive are usually related to survey. Explanatory always why this is happening, whether smoking leads to cancer. Is really element which leads to cancer. So why questions are coming actually explanatory, but in explanatory, not necessarily only experiments. We also have what I call correlation studies, etc. I'll come to the next slide. In that, I'll make it. Usually appropriate use of different strategies. If it is case study, the types of research question you have, how, why, etc. Let us not stick on to that. Classification study, how you as design yourself. Exploratory studies are always used in order to find what is happening, to seek new insight, something new which you do not know, to assess phenomena in a new light. Exploratory studies when you don't have a proper knowledge or proper material, or you don't have anything about a particular problem which you are selected. So here, what you call, you are trying to know deeper and deeper about a particular concept which nobody knows, nobody has explained, or nobody has conducted a study. So now you want to know what is happening, something new. In the new, you have to assess certain things, what I call, because these exploratory studies will be helpful for what I call forming hypothesis. Here, hypothesis forming is out of question. Hypotheses are formed on the basis of certain variables. The variables you are getting on the basis of some theory. The theories are nothing but some review. So the variables that you are selecting will come only when you have some material or some literature. When you don't have literature, what are you going to do? So what do you call this? That is why explore itself makes it clear. What do you call find out? Explore is find out something new. So what do you call what? Let us see what are the usually, but not that's what in most of the cases is qualitative studies. But in many case studies nowadays, what they're doing, they're also using some quantitative analysis. But when you are going for qualitative study, exploratory study, it should be qualitative. You're going deep and deep and deep into that, and you are trying to find out the different information from different people. Let us see how it will go. This research is mostly carried out where there is no sufficient information available about the issue to be studied. And another thing is what I call it is the least structured form of research and frequently is used as the first in a series of studies on specific topic. This research is mostly carried out when there is no sufficient information available. Another, the least structured form of research and frequently is used as a topic. That means you are interested in a qualitative study, you are interested in a case study, you want to know something like what is happening, and you want to know deep. You want to gain deeper knowledge into that. Then that you have to explain. You have to explain only through this exploratory studies. How you go about, we'll see in the next slide. Now coming to the descriptive. What is descriptive is very simple. Simply describe something. Describe the consequence, just like that, how we have person. So what is the descriptive study? To portray an accurate profile of persons, events, or situation. It can be anything which describes anything. For example, let us come to that. Requires extensive previous knowledge of situation, maybe quantitative or qualitative. So already I told you, when descriptive studies are conducted, we are interested in knowing something about a particular area or something about a person or something about any event. Okay, so for example, you want to know the characteristics of a particular rural people. You are interested to know. You want to know what is the living condition of people in slum area. You want to know, how many people watch TV. Right. Just like that, what you call there are number. If you want to simply get the details or describe, then you usually go for descriptive study. For this, what is needed? You need extensive previous knowledge of the situation, because you are going to this field not to understand what is new. You are going to the field by understanding what will be seen. For example, if you want to conduct a study in Mumbai, slum area, you know that there are plenty of studies conducted in slum area. Why slum area? Because you got an information that in slum area the living will be congested, etc., etc. Isn't it? So what you call? So you are interested in what is there in Pune or what is there in Calcutta. So this extensive reading will help you to gain knowledge about the particular situation or whatever. So you can, as I see, in some descriptive studies, they also form hypotheses. So there is when you describe or get only the details of particular area or event, then we call it as qualitative. If you want to go for some measurement, if you want to relate between variables within your study, that you can go for quantitative. Quantitative studies already Lalda sir might have explained. I'm not going to do that once again. So the major goal of a descriptive research is to describe events, phenomena, and situations. Since description is made on the basis of scientific observation, it is expected to be more scientific observations. It is expected to be more accurate and precise than causal. So what I call the purpose is very clear. What is the purpose now? The major goal is to describe. So since description is made on the basis of scientific observation, so that's what, see, for example, we can say that we can do descriptive studies. You go to some areas and you want to know what is their living condition, and you are seeing that many houses are in dilapidated conditions. The condition of the house is very bad. So you write a report that all the people in that particular area are very poor. Can you do that? That is not a study, because many people do that, but that is not. But that is not the correct one, because you are not following the scientific method. Have you done the scientific observation? So that is the reason you have to step by step. that you have to go and conduct the study, which will help you to understand in a very scientific manner. When you go to the RC, suppose by looking at somebody, you cannot say what is his income. He's a poor man, his income is less. Can you come to a conclusion? These are all biased things where you are not into that. So descriptive studies, you have to make it scientific, and it will be helpful for understanding a deeper things, or you'll get better details about a particular area situation. I'll come to the next one, is what I call very important. It's called as an explanatory study. The third purpose of any research is explain. Seeks an explanation of a situational problem, usually in the form of causal relationship. Here you are interested definitely to know something about and what influences something. Okay, what I call whether there is a relationship between two variables. Here only actually your variables are very important. When you're going for an explanatory study, you have to have variables because you are interested only in understanding these variables. For example, I've given you earlier what I call work-life balance and job satisfaction of faculty members. So you are interested in know whether, so there are two variables in that. What I call, you have one dependent variable and you have one independent variable. And there you want to know what I call what depends on what, whether work-life balance has any effect on job satisfaction. So when you want to know the reason, when you want to know whether this influences, you go for explanatory studies. Explanatory studies are definitely related to relationship, and it definitely should have hypothesis and variables. Mostly quantitative, that's what I already told you. Then explain within the, now there is another, so mostly quantitative. So here what you call, you are trying to explain about a situation, you are trying to know the relationship about something. So now let us see, but all explanatory studies are not experiments. So in explanatory studies, usually we divide into two, we classify into two. Within the explanatory study, researcher may decide about the investigation, whether it's causal versus correlational. Causal is mostly related to experimental study, and the other one is for the correlational study. In causal or experimental study, the researcher tries to identify the cause of one or more problem. For example, whether as I told you, whether smoking leads to cancer. What is the cause? What is the effect? So you are trying to understand by applying an experiment type. That is called as causal, or it is called as, usually explanatory studies are always interested in the cause and effect relationship. Okay, but experiments are very peculiar. Any study which you are conducting is not experiment. For experiment, there are many things to be controlled. There are many things to be followed. We'll see other experiments later. And there is another study which usually every researcher will do is what is a correlational study. The relation between two variables, as I told you. Even in descriptive studies, we can have correlation study. But there, what you're doing, you're trying to give an explanation for something. Well, correlation study states the relation between two variables. So now we are very specific about what the topic that you are taken. As I told you, what you call work-life balance and job satisfaction. This is your area. You have finalized. You are trying to understand what is the theoretical explanation or the basic literature regarding work-life balance. And on the other side, you are trying to understand what is job satisfaction and what is the theoretical equation. Now, the review of literature has given you a very clear picture. What are the different studies conducted on these two things in different areas? Now you are trying to find out what is the research gap here. And you are also telling that you want to know the same thing in a particular different area. So that is possible. So whatever it is, here you are trying to understand the relation between two variables. Now, researchers often aim to explain why particular. So the second point you can just see, always explanatory studies are related to why questions, why this is happening, why it is like this. So you are trying to find out why, what is the reason, what influences, and that is very important as the explanatory study. Now, choosing a research strategy. So when you are choosing exploratory study, now what will you do? What type of study you will go? Now, obviously, as I showed you the diagram, case study. What is case study? Case study, most misunderstood term as far as case study is concerned, because in different subjects, case study has different connotations. In social sciences, they give something. In management, they give something. In science, they give something. In anthropology, they give something. But whatever it is, case study is case. We are only what I call pinpointing on a single case. The single case or unit. What I call, it is not a single case. The case can be coming as a unit. A unit can be an individual. A unit can be a group. A unit can be a family. Or a unit can be a society. Unit can be a state or whatever it is. So the case. So case study means study of a unit. Okay, the study of a unit will help us to understand deeper and deeper about that particular topic which you have selected. So what I call here, we have to go deeper and deeper. So that we call it as case studies or what I call the in-depth studies. Let us see what are the features as far as case studies are concerned. Selection of a single case or a small number of related cases of a situation, individual or group of interest or concern. As I told you, it can be a unit. The unit can be a case, single or group, or it can be number, it can be village or whatever it is. However you want, all these things you will decide. When you decide about case study, when you get the topic, conducting a case study about a particular thing in a particular subject, you decide how you're going to go about, whether you're going to conduct a study among one unit. For example, it can be one industry. That is one unit. It can be one group, one specific group. It can be urban group. It can be, so whatever it is, the group has to be, the study has to be only on that particular unit. After choosing the cases to be studied, find ways of getting access to the unit study, including informers, selecting communication pattern, and planning for unexpected events that might affect the study. For example, you want to conduct a study to know the lifestyle of a particular community, maybe in Maharashtra or maybe in Bihar, whatever it is. So if you want to conduct a study among a particular community where you don't have any knowledge about it, what are you going to do? But you feel that there is a need to conduct. Usually anthropologists do that, but even other social scientists and even management people, they do that. So we have to what I call confine only to that particular unit. So the unit of study here is what I call a group of people who are formed in a community. What is the name of the community? So what do you want to know about the community? You want to know everything about the community. So what will you do? You go to the field where the community is. You are trying to be in that group for a long time, and you're trying to understand, including their lifestyle, their eating style, their culture, everything. So what you cannot go with them what you call structured questions here, because it varies from every community. The culture of, say for example, you want to conduct a study on the culture of a particular community. It is very difficult to standardize. Every community, every group has its own culture. So if you want to know, so what will you do? You have to only prepare questions. Usually what we do here is what I call, we go with the less prepared questions. The more that you interact with those people, then you'll have more questions. So you only go with the interview guide. This will help you to understand, and when you go meet some people, that's why informing informers, selecting communication pattern, and planning for unexpected event. So preparing questions that need to be addressed in the initial stage, that you will have some questions. Then you start collecting information. So what you call the data collection method will be entirely different here compared to other descriptive and what you call explanatory study. So what how you're collecting the information, how we are collecting. Hello, you are able to hear now? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You are able to hear? Okay.
Yes, yes.
Because no sound from anywhere. So okay, I'll continue.
Yes, sir,
Okay, thank you. Collection of information via a range of data collection techniques, including observation, interview, documentary analysis, etc. So what you call, this is the very difficult type of research as far as case studies are concerned, because you have to include each and everything as far as a particular the problem whatever you have taken. So you may use observation method, you may use interview method, you may use documentary analysis, you may, in some cases, what they call anthropologists and other people, they live in the community and they will try to observe whatever that is called participant observation, etc. So the same way, what I call, if you want to conduct a study in urban area, you have to understand about them. So here, but you have interview, but you don't have a proper structured interview schedule or you don't have a questionnaire, or whatever the tools that you have in research, which you will be knowing in the next subsequent classes. So here what I call the data collection is through different sources. That is very important as far as case study is concerned. So now coming to the other one is what is the second one? The second purpose of our research is nothing but descriptive. Descriptive studies, as I told you, what I call, you want detailed information about a particular area or particular situation, whatever. So usually what strategy we use is survey. Survey is a very simple term which everybody knows, where we are not going for what I call we are not going to the a particular place and collecting information. But here all we are pre-deciding. A survey is conducted in order to get the details, or you want to describe certain things in a particular area, etc. So now, what is survey? Survey research is the method of collecting information by asking a set of pre-formulated questions in a structured questionnaire to a sample of individuals drawn so as to be representative of a defined population. In other words, it is collection of information in standardized form from groups of people. Just think about survey. Survey, why do you want to conduct a survey? It is very simple. I mean, for example, what you want to conduct a survey about the problems of a particular area. You want to conduct a survey among the industrial employees to know what are the problems, as I told you, job satisfaction of the employee. For that, definitely you have to go for a survey only. You're not going for what you call in-depth study by living in the. So what you're doing is what you want to collect information, but already it is pre-formulated, pre-decided. All these things are, see, so this survey, it has come just because that you have a purpose of describing. So you have already decided the objectives, what you want to find out. The objectives will help you to frame questions or make questions now. So that is what I told you. If your objective is wrong, the questions what you're going to ask will be different. According to objectives, whatever formulated, say for example, your objective is to, for example, to find out the work-life balance of what I call teachers. So work-life balance, to know what is the level of work-life balance is your objective. Now, when you are coming to the field, now you're conducting the survey, now it should be structured. The questions should be related only to work-life balance. So how it is related? So in many cases, what happened? Your objective is different. The questions what you're asking is different. Ultimately, your finding is also different. So that should not happen. There should be some relation between all these things. So it is a pre-formulated questions in a structured. Sometimes it may be structured. Sometimes it may be what I call semi-structured. But totally unstructured cannot be conducted in survey because we have certain limitations. Okay. So, but actually, when you go for survey, what you call very important thing is you have to follow the next step very clearly, like what you call sampling, etc., that Dr. Ali will be explaining. Okay. Now, so what you call usually surveys, we have to go for sampling because the population, if you want to conduct a study among a particular group or a small group, okay, we can go for census method. But if you are going for a wider population, definitely you have to, it should be definitely, through some sampling method, etc. Okay, so it is nothing but it is a collection of information in a standardized form. You want very clearly certain information based on your objective. You want the information about work-life balance. You are asking questions about work-life balance. You are trying to get it, and that information you go for analysis, etc. in the later stage. So this is very important for you because most of the studies are based on survey. Most of the studies, because nobody ventures into case studies. Nobody goes for experiment because I'm going to explain about the experiment. How difficult it is going to be, we'll see later. So survey. What are the features of survey? Selection of samples of individuals from known populations. Very clear. What do you want to study? Among whom you're going to conduct the study? The scope is clear. The population is clear. But the population is clear. But how many you're going to take, that will be decided later. That is what I call. That is called as what I call your universe. When your universe is clear, universe is nothing but your study population. Okay, when your study population is clear, that you can conduct the study very clearly. So collection of relatively small amount of data in standardized form from each individual. So this is very important. Your collection relatively small amount of data. It is not possible if there are 2,000 people in a particular area. It is not possible for you to conduct among all the 2,000 people. So what do you call? Take for take a group of a small group of people. This small group of people represent the entire population according to our assumption. That's why you go for sampling, etc. But we are collecting data from a limited number of people and in a standardized form. But you are collecting directly information. This information is very important because your finding depends upon the data which you are getting. Okay. Coming to the usually employees questionnaire or structured interview. Already explained, especially when questionnaire and structured interview, semi-structured, all these things are tools, which I think you will be getting information about it in the later stage. But still, I would like to only just give some information. There are two important tools, especially questionnaire and interview schedule, what you call, through which you can collect the information. It's all pre-formulated. All the questions, whatever you want to ask, that you are making it very clear, well structured, clear. It should be definitely based on your what you call objectives. Now, another thing is what we have seen that explanatory research in the earlier class and some time back. Sorry, and we have seen that explanatory research can be usually two. There are a number of ways people interpret. So here, what you call correlation research, and the other one is called as experimental research. But correlation research is though it is an explanatory research, it is not an experimental research. So what is the difference? We'll see. Correlation research is interested only in a particular thing, what you call finding out the relation between two variables. But experiment, there are different types of experiment. We are interested more in costs, finding out causes. Correlation research is a non-experimental research method. In this research method, there is no manipulation of an independent variable. Here also we have variables, we have independent variable, we have dependent. I hope everybody knows what is a independent variable and what is dependent variable. I hope. On that basis only, on that assumption only, I'm just talking about, because the correlation research definitely should have variables. Without variables, it is not possible for you to go for see the relationship. So correlation research is a non-experimental research because it is called as a non-experimental research because we are not conducting a controlled experiment. In this research method, there is no manipulation. We don't manipulate anything. We just only try to find out only the relationship between what is called X and Y. For example, the relation between work-life balance and job satisfaction. Simple. What is the correlation? Simply, you want to correlation will only give you the direction. Okay, whether you have a positive relation, the relationship is positive, whether the relationship is negative. If it is positive, both are positive. If the higher the, what you call, for example, higher the work-life balance, higher will be the job satisfaction. You assume that is hypothesis. Hypothesis tomorrow somebody will take, but there definitely there should be a hypothesis. So that is what you call. You are trying to find out the relation here. Simply, we want to see whether it's a positive or negative. Suppose if one is higher, the other one is lower, whatever it is. So you can try to find out. See, for example, work-life balance and job satisfaction. Let us see the example. If work-life balance and job satisfaction are found to be positively related in Pune, not necessarily it will be positively related in Gujarat. There is absolutely no evidence. So only when you conduct the research, the same type of research in Gujarat, you will come to understand that there is a relationship between what you call work-life balance and job satisfaction in Gujarat also. It may contradict. That is why you have what you call you are contradict. If you have to contradict, that's what you are framing hypothesis. Try to explain why it is contradicting. Otherwise, there is no need for hypothesis at all. If it is positive in Pune, why it is negative in Gujarat? There can be many other factors. Okay, so but as far as correlation study is concerned, I mean, we are only interested in knowing whether there is a relationship, positive relative or negative relative, or what you call whatever the relationship, inverse relationship we call. So correlation research will be helpful to identify that direction. Now let us see what are the features. Almost the same features. It can be what you call a descriptive study. So a selection of samples of individuals from known population. Collection of relatively small amount of data in standardized form from each individual, usually employs a questionnaire and interview. So think almost same feature because in descriptive studies also correlation studies are conducted, and the same format we follow there. Now coming to the most important one is experiment, very difficult one. everybody feels usually most of the social science research are conducted either in survey or in case study, etc. But mostly psychologists are in management. I think there are many studies which are conducted for experiment. So why do you want to experiment? Experiment is something, what do you call it, trying to find out something. If this is, you're trying to experiment. If this is the case, what will be the effect? Okay, if this is the cause, what would be the effect? So experiments are always cause-effect relationship only. And there has to be two variables here also, as I told you, because without variables you cannot go. And definitely you should have here hypothesis. Without hypothesis you cannot have, because there are different types of experiments which are conducted, and variables are, you are testing, trying to test the relationship between two variables by identifying what is the cause and what is the effect. If this is the cause, what is the effect? More the smoking, higher the chances of cancer. Okay, so what are the cause for cancer, but not necessarily for all the always cancer. Smoking is the cause. We are just assuming. You can what you call accept it or reject it, but only that you can do after conducting the research. Now let us see. So what is the primary purpose of conducting experimental study is to test the existence of a causal relationship among two or more variables. Okay, typical features. What are the typical features? Selection of samples of individuals from known populations, allocation of samples to different experimental conditions, introduction of planned change in one or more variables, usually involves hypothesis testing. Very, very important. Here, what you call, you are having a small population and you are trying to test it. It is nothing but it is testing. Okay, so what do you have to do is what do you want to know? Whether this is the if this is the cause, whether this will be the effect. Okay, so here you have to create certain conditions. For example, if you want to conduct, suppose if you want to conduct whether smoking leads to concentration. So you have to select group of people who are non-smokers and you have to select a group of people who are smokers. Okay, so you have to conduct an experiment. So you have to have two groups. That is called, one is called as an experimental group and the other one is called as control group. So in one group that you are trying to administer, manipulate things, make changes, and the other one you are not making any change. After administering the same type of study in both the groups, you are trying to compare both and you are trying to understand whether this is the cause or whether this is not the cause. So this is the way. So there are a number of ways how you can conduct experiment. For example, what is important here is you have to control. Okay, you have to control. See, for example, very simple example I can give you. It's a very interesting. If a very lean fellow went to a doctor and he asked the doctor, I want to put on more weight. You give me some tonic. Doctor gave a tonic. After 6 months, yes, hello. Yes, after taking tonic for 6 months, the individual came to the doctor and said that I put on weight. So the individual thought this is what I call the final answer. The tonic is directly related to weight. But how far it is true? Here it cannot be a true experiment because what I call, who knows what he has taken food, what type of food he has taken? Only tonic he has taken? No, he has taken other food. There are many other other food which will be making you to put more weight. So what happened here? It is the validity of this particular. Suppose if you want to conduct a research on this, so the validity of the thing itself is wrong. So conducting experiment is not that easy. Experiments will have to be conducted in a very, very in a very systematic manner. It needs hypothesis testing. Okay, it has to. You have to make plan change. What do you want to find out? You are interested in finding out the cause. Okay, if you want to find out the cause, then you have to make it very systematic. The variables you have to select. Only those variables you have to select, and you have to conduct the study. A particular group. So number of things you'll have to take into consideration when you are conducting an experiment. There are different types of, for example, what I call pure experiment is there. There are pre-post experiment is there. So now everywhere, what you call here, the purpose will be one, to find out the cause and effect. Okay, but how you administer, how you go, it all depends upon right from what you call what topic you have selected, what objectives you have made, what design that you are following. Okay, now I think there are many other experimental designs. I'll not take much. There are laboratory experiments. Okay. A laboratory experiment is a research study in which the variance of all or nearly all possible inferential dependent variables not pertinent to the immediate problem. I think, should I go for all this thing? Experimental experiment. There are many. For example, laboratory experiment is there. Field experiments are there. Classic control experiments are there. Quasi-experiment. Okay, I'll come to this quasi-experimental. So experiments, there are a number of experiments which are conducted, specifically for a purpose in order to find out what are the costs, etc. So now there is another experiment design. Where, hello? Yes?
Sir, sorry, sir. Now time 3:50. Can you wind up within 10 minutes, sir?
Okay, yes. Now I'll complete the quasi experiment. I'm going for 3 illustrations and I'll close. Okay?
Okay. Then we have to take some. We have to give some time for question answer also, sir.
Okay. I'll quickly. I'll go. I'll go to the illustration very quickly. This is the last one. To be very frank, it is very clear. Last one. So it's a quasi experimental design. Quasi experimental design. It all. It looks like what you call experiment, but it is not an experiment because you don't control here. You don't control anything. Simply you try to find out whether there is a relation between this one and simply try to find out the cause and effect without controlling, because without having a systematic pure experiment. That is why it is called. It's called as quasi. Looks like, but it is not a quasi. So I'll just. I hope that I've covered. I'll just give a very brief idea about what I've conducted. I've done. How to formulate a problem. I've just gone I've not gone very deeply into that. How to formulate a problem, what is research question, what is reviewed literature, how all these things are helping you to design the study. I have given you 3 important studies which no other where it cannot go beyond that. What you call 3 purpose. Your study design, your study depends upon the purpose of your study. There can be only 3 purpose. One is called as explore, describe, or explain. And I've given you what is exploratory study, what is this thing, and I've given some of the features. And for each purpose of your study, what design, what study method you will follow, like case study, what I call survey and experiment. And I have concluded with what I call quasi-experiment design. This is also coming in the experimental design, but it is an explanatory study where it looks like an experiment, but it is not an experiment. Now there are many other designs, but I am not going to touch that. Now I am just going to give you some illustration regarding this. Suppose if you are getting a topic on corruption in government. Yes, Bindu madam, I'll just try to, within 5 minutes I'll close.
Okay, sir.
I just want to give some illustration. Suppose you are getting a topic or corruption in government. You want to conduct a study on corruption in government. What will you do? So you have to ask questions, start asking questions. What specifically are you interested in? What do you mean by corruption? What do you mean by government? What kind of behavior you have in mind? What do you want to study? So you are deciding. Corruption means a very vast area. The scope is very so. Corruption among employees, corruption among elected officials, corruption among civil. So see, when you get a topic, how many things are coming to you? There are a number of questions which are coming to your mind. So now you don't know what to do. So you have to settle down. So what will you do now? Now finally you finally make it very clear. What is your purpose? Do you want to find out how much corruption is there? Are you interested in that? Do you want to learn why corruption exists? These are the kinds of questions that need to be answered in course of research. So if you are able to, so what now you will design the study. All these questions should come into that. Now coming to the next one is I'll give another topic, impact of tax. This is the topic which I'm giving to you. What will you do? What will you do? The scope is very wide. What to do with the tax? So now you are interested, okay, to know the dissatisfaction of taxpayers. So what you want to know, you consider as a movement. You might like to know about the movement, how widespread it is, what levels of degrees of support are there within the community, how is the movement organized. Okay, now you might undertake a dash study to obtain at least approximate answers to some of these questions. You can fill it, what type of study that you will make, whether explorative, whether it is descriptive or explanatory. Okay, you can fill it later. Suppose if you are getting this topic and you are interested in what type of, suppose if these are the questions that you are asking, what type of study that you will make. Mostly, I think you will go for an exploratory study because you want to know deep into all these things. Okay. Now, you have to collect data by taking figures. See the data collection method when you are changing the design. Checking the collecting, you have to find different sources through which you can get the information. Checking figures with tax collecting, collecting study literature of the movement, attend meetings and interview of leaders. So all these things are very important for you. Now let us come to the illustration. Now you write yourself and tell me what are the design for this operation of a bank. Many people were concerned about the operation of a bank. If the government desires to know the details, what would be the type of investigation design? Keep in mind, you design yourself by whatever the points that I have given. And you can, if somebody is interested, you can ask me during the discussion of 5 minutes. Now coming to the one more design that you can think is very simple. A manager of a company wants to know the relationship between the effect of training on the efficiency of the employees. Propose the design for the study. So any topic which you get, you have to make it as a researchable topic. How to make it researchable? All these circus, whatever I said, you have to do. You have to start with your questions. Because research is nothing but finding an answer for the question that you have in your mind. I hope to some extent I could give you a capsule form of what is problem formulation research design. Thank you so much for your patient hearing. If at all any flaws or anything which you could not understand, please put in the chat box. How good it was, I don't know, and you can give me a feedback so that I can also improve. Thank you so much for your patient hearing.
Good evening, Pradeep sir.
Good evening, sir.
So your presentation is very nice.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Most of the part belongs to Tata Institute.
Okay, sir. I hope all the people have...
Yeah, that's good. Now, only thing I just want to make some clarification for participants.
Okay.
Quasi-experiment design is generally followed by psychologists, not by psychologists or social work researchers. Why it is so?
No. See, for any research, whether it's management, social work, psychology, or social sciences, the purpose is only 3. The purpose of your research is important. Either you go for exploration, you go for description, or you go for explanation. So how you want to design your study, it is up to you. See, if you want to go for an experimentation, of course, you have to take the help of a psychologist. Definitely. Because other people, an anthropologist may not be very sound in what you call experiments. But it is up to you, whatever you want. So you take a management, people may be from management. See, either you can go for a case study or something, or you can go for a qualitative study, you can go for a quantitative study. That is what you call, either you can go for a descriptive one, or you can go for explanatory. You go for correlation study. So research as such, it cannot go beyond this. You have to confine only within these 3 things, as far as my knowledge goes. I hope if somebody wants to comment, you can comment. Thank you.
That is very much true. This morning, Lalda sir was telling there is integrated approach of study.
Yes. Yes, Lalda sir.
Quantitative.
Acha.
And together.
Quantitative is definitely it is coming under explanatory only.
Take it.
You go for scaling. I think. Yes.
Nothing, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hello. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Sir, is descriptive research hypothesis mandatory for descriptive research, sir?
So it depends, sir. Even descriptive studies, hypotheses are formed. So if you want to find out something, or you want to find out the relationship, or something exists or doesn't exist, if you want, you can have hypothesis. It is up to you. Even descriptive studies have hypothesis. Yes, sir.
So it is not a mandatory for the hypothesis is compulsory. It is not a mandatory, no, sir, for descriptive research.
For example, case study, how can you go for? Usually for qualitative research, you cannot go for hypothesis. With qualitative researchers are done in order to know, it is called as an in-depth study. You can you want more and more details because you are not very definite, because you don't have any background or theory, and accordingly that you have to frame. So what is happening nowadays? I think in many studies, all the three are also included. All the three designs are included and studies are conducted. For example, in many management studies, we have seen, especially in HR and other thing, at the end they will give a case study for supporting your all data. Case studies, take some cases, etc. So usually any design for research, it should be within these three things. It cannot go beyond that. Either you explore, or you go for a description, or you go for an explanation. So explanation, go for a hypothesis to find out the relationship between two variables, usually. As I give an example, like work-life balance and job satisfaction. So you are interested in know what is the level of work-life balance and how it is influencing. So these are the issues that you have to settle. This is the outline which is given. So how you are going to design your research design, it depends upon the questions what you are asking in the beginning. Okay, I hope it is clear, sir.
Hello,
hello, sir.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
This is Dr. Dada from CyBER, sir.
Hello. Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Sir,
you are able to hear?
Yeah, I can. Am I audible?
Yes.
Am I audible, sir? Hello.
It's sound is too much, sir.
Yeah.
Sound is too much. It is blurring. Boliye, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, sir. In connection with the just last question regarding the hypothesis, I wanted to just ask you the question: if the census survey is there, is in that case also is it your hypothesis a mandatory?
See, it depends upon what is the purpose of your study. What do you want to find out? Okay. Whatever that you are following, it depends upon what you want to find out. See, if you are interested in to find out a relation between something, it depends upon the question that you are asking. Okay. Even in some cases, if it is a small population, for example, it's a small population of 150 or 200, and you want to know the relation between two variables, you have to go for, you will go for census method, and you will go for what you call relationship between two variables, na?
Yeah.
So it is not there. Even small groups, even if you go for, say, census method we are following, it is because the population is less.
Yeah.
Usually when the population is more, only you are going for sampling and other. Okay. So it doesn't make any difference whether you're going for sampling or you're going for census. Even, see, for example, if it's a small population, there it is within your limit, you go for census. There also you can plan for conducting study, even conduct experiments. Experiments are conducted in small population only. It cannot be conducted in big populations.
Yeah.
Okay, then, am I right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very much. Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yes, Bindu madam, anything? I think if it is.
Okay, sir. Any other
For one
queries from participants? Only one. I think we can take one or more, one or two.
Hello. Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes.
No, who is talking? It's not audible. Yes. Who is speaking, please? Yes. Yes, sir.
From
yes, sir.
Polytechnic.
Sir, can you slightly raise your voice?
The beginning of the
voice is slightly weak.
In the beginning, in the beginning, how to select any research topic?
Yes, sir.
How to select any research topic? And what's
Sir,
preparation?
I had given one slide. I'll share that slide. In that slide I have given you, there are different ways how you can select the topic.
Okay.
Okay, I've given the slide.
Okay.
Even it can be an observation, it can be a discussion, or it can be theory, or it can be any material which you have read. So there are a number of sources. There is no one single source through which you can select the topic. So that's what I said in the first slide. In the what you call selecting a suitable problem for your research is very difficult. I use the term, you are in a position, very awkward position. I can call it that. Intellectual discomfort comes there. Okay. But you have the topic, you don't know what to do. So even that topic, so you will go for another topic. That's what I told you. Even if you're doing, especially for budding researchers, I have a message here. What you call, don't try to take one topic and try to conduct study on that only. Have 3-4 topics. Ask questions on that. Make it very clear what you want to find out. That is very what will make you make everything clear. What you call, that will help you to design your study.
Okay,
if your purpose is to only know the details of a particular community, then why you want to go for explanatory study? If you want to specifically know what are the cause and effect, why do you want to go for case study? So these are some of the decisions that you'll have to make in the beginning. And I've given you some slides, how to select the problem and how to go for a research question, and what is the role of especially what you call review of literature in shaping the entire research design. I hope I'm clear, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. And it's a
thank you, sir.
Pleasure to me. It's a very nice, informative session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
So, can we wind up, sir?
Yes. Yes. How do you find? Okay for all the participants?
Yes, sir.
Participants, any comments from the?
All any comment or any doubt or any? Okay. Otherwise, we can wind up. Okay.
Yes.
Madam, what sir gave is an excellent. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for budding research scholar, sir. Thank you.
Nice presentation. Thank you.
Excellent information you gave, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Extremely thank you, Dr. Pradeep Kumar Garu, for your crisp insights. We are very fortunate to have you here today and listen to your insights, sir. Thank you, madam, for this opportunity. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay. So I have only just given an outline. If you want to go deep into that, it will take, I think, months together to complete. But I've given an outline. I hope that you could catch up something. Thank you so much for your patience and here. Okay, Bindu.
Okay, sir. I, on behalf of FDP team of CyBER and the entire fraternity present here, extend a hearty vote of thanks to Pradeep, sir. It is a matter of immense pride for me to convey my gratitude to Pradeep, sir, for his inspiring and informative sessions. I'm sure the delegates and all present here will have a lot to take away from the sessions. And once again, thank you, sir, for making an excellent presentation with the help of illustration and making this FDP very meaningful and interesting. And he has the tool of stock of source of data, descriptive research, explanatory research, exploratory research, and correlation research also. Thank you, sir. Thank you for this very informative and very what we can call excellent session. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And tomorrow's session.
Thank you so much. Thank you, one and all.
Tomorrow's session will start at 10:30. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Now, feedback link, madam, or related to feedback link, madam will consider that. Madam will inform to you. Okay, madam will inform to you. Thank you.